We're here. Welcome to World of Matchups 2025 live stream of the National Football League's Draft Day. My name is Dexter Reed, bringing you guys the heat from Las Vegas, Nevada. On the other side of the glass, my A1 from day one, producer extraordinaire and bachelor about to get married. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in Spencer the Wiz. What's up, man?
It tells you how time flies. I remember sitting here last year. I'm getting married, dude. It's in another year of the draft. This is my favorite night of the year. There's nothing like the NFL draft, in my opinion. You just get to do a lot of studying, and you get to kind of see where all the things fall. You know, everyone has a different draft board in all these little war rooms. So we'll see, like, if our consensus was their consensus, and how things happen. It's crazy.
I'm pretty excited. This is my favorite show of the year. I like the fact that it's in Green Bay. Green Bay, for all of you who have never been there to see a football game, do yourself a favor. If you call yourself a football fan, go to Green Bay, Wisconsin. I know it would seem like a boring thing to do. I went in the early 90s for back-to-back Monday night football games versus the Niners and the Bears in 94 and 95. And these people are actually pretty amazing people. They love their Packers. The stadium is like a college-style stadium. It's a pretty cool experience, and only to Kansas City, they have one of the best tailgates I've ever been. We're locked in at number one. We all know it's going to be Cam Ward, Spencer to the Tennessee Titans. Right now, we're going through all the pomp and circumstance, the Star-Spangled Banner, lift every voice and sing. The commissioner's getting booed.
Oh, there's a
blase. Yeah, they're going crazy right now. They're fired up in Green Bay, man. This is going to be a pretty, Lil Wayne's up there.
Oh, Clay Matthews, I see.
Matthews is there. James Jones is there. I mean, it's going to be a good day. Yeah, the commissioner does look like he's on Ozempic. He looks like he's lost a few there, man.
Yeah,
he does. He looks like
he's a little big on him, man.
Yeah. It's going to be a good one, guys. Okay, for the next 3.5 hours, you are stuck with us. Feel free to comment, like, share, and as always, subscribe if you like the content. We're going to go for the long haul here, and we are going to go hard because this is what we do. I've been waiting for this all day, and I know Spencer has too. Before we get started, I think this is a weak NFL draft. I think that the last couple years have been kind of mid at best. I think the last great NFL draft was 2022. Your thoughts, Spencer, on the star power in this draft?
Yeah, there isn't really any star power. I'm looking at my mock draft now. Once you get to like 10, I guess 11 to 32, it comes down to like what you think about these guys, especially at the offensive line position. I think all these guys are kind of around the same range. And I will say this too. This is kind of like my, sticking my flag into the ground here. I think this is an extremely weak edge class. I think a lot of guys will be taken in the first round because of the value of the position. But to be honest with you, like when I look at my kind of draft notes on these guys, you go down to like Scorton, Shamar Stewart. These are all just like James Pierce Jr. even. And we'll talk more about them as they get drafted. These are like potential picks. You're hoping that they kind of pan out. It is not one of those years where they're just kind of jump off the page for you. There's questions all around. Mm-hmm. Once you get to these next levels, there is questions for almost every single one of these guys. Which, again, I know there's questions about every single draft class, but comparing this to last year, there's a huge difference in my opinion.
Yeah, this is what I like to call this year's pull and pray draft. Okay, You pick the guy, and you just kind of hope it works out. I mean, let's say, for instance, Ashton Gente's not in this draft. Where's the star power? All day long on Sleeper, on ESPN, that's all they've been talking about is AJ. You pull him, let's say, for instance, Hunter and Shedeur. I mean, and I think while I thought early on that Shedeur Sanders might go number 2 to Cleveland, I think today, based on what I've seen the last 72 hours, I think he might even fall out of the first. This is a pull and pray draft. You're hoping, based on what everyone is kicking around social media, that these guys end up being good. You hope that Hunter ends up being good because of Dion. You hope Shedeur ends up being good because of Dion. You hope Cam Ward ends up being good because of how he dominated at Miami. But there's no real locks. I think this is definitely a weaker draft class than what we did last year and most certainly the year before. We'll see what happens. I think there's a lot of value to be had day 2 and day 3, especially for running backs. A guy like Jackson Dart shooting up draft boards to me is a little surprising. But here we are with 7 minutes left to pick number 1. I don't know what
I
they're
think
waiting for in
I
Tennessee.
think what you'll see maybe for these guys who fall, these quarterbacks who are going to fall, is I think you're going to see a lot of trading up from second into late because look at I'm looking at my mock draft here. Look at who the Baltimore Ravens are kind of taking a pick from, and obviously I'm not Nostradamus or anything like that, but looking at the last 10 guys coming off of the draft board, 32 and below that, I think these teams would be more than willing to trade back. I mean, a guy like Neek Emanwari would probably still be there in the second round. I'm taking him because I have such a high grade on him. But once you think about Trey Amos, Luther Burden, these are guys who I didn't have in my first round. These guys might be better than some of them, and I think these teams will have the same mentality of all right, let's hear it, Cleveland Browns. All right, any of these teams, the Raiders, Jackson Dart, Shador Sanders is going to be there. And you can go down the quarterback list, by the way. I mean, I think there's a fairly big drop off. I think those are probably the 2 guys who would see trade up for. But this is going to be fascinating. This is going to be a bizarre draft. I kind of have that feeling in my bones.
It's so weird.
I kind of feel like who I know is going to be taken in the top 10. I don't know what order they'll be taken in, but I feel like I know is going to take it in the top 10. But after that, you're really kind of just throwing darts at the board and hoping that something sticks.
I agree, man. And I think we're going to see more than we have seen in the past. Teams not really draft what they think is best player available, because that's relative at this point. Whereas if you got a hole in your team, we're just going to fill it with the guy who we think is going to be good. We're just going to fill it and pull and pray. I mean, I saw Luther Burden mocked to the Vegas Raiders at 6. And I also saw Luther Burden day 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't usually see that much of a gap for a player who's supposed to be pretty good. I mean, he's supposed to be wide receiver 3 in this draft, wide receiver 4.
Yeah,
if we're pushing it.
Very weak wide receiver draft.
Weak.
Millen, who I like more than you, but even I understand that it's got to be buried behind guys like Marvin Harrison, comparing them to last year. I mean, far now, he would have been around. But he's just going to be top 10 because, in my opinion, he's by far and away the best receiver to be taken. Even a guy like Matthew Bolton, he can really kind of do. You're talking about wide receiver 2s in the first round. So as we get started, I'll throw up some of my best bets here. I actually hit pretty well last year. I was thinking my best bets were pretty good. I have 4. I don't necessarily think this first one's going to happen, but I think there's too much value. I think there's a real chance that Travis Hunter could be taken 3rd overall. I think there's a world where the Browns are like, hey, let's have the 2 best bookends in the league and go from there and go Abdul Carter number 2. So I think plus 400 is too good. I really like this next one, Mason Graham under 5.5. If he fell to the Raiders, I think my soul would leave my body. I think you'd watch me die on live stream because I would just be so excited about it. But I just see this guy, and I don't see it too often. To me, this is the Patriots pick. This is a Mike Vrabel guy. And I just think he's too talented to slip that far down the draft.
I love Malachi.
A couple
Starks.
Other ones. I think Malachi Starks is one of the best players in the draft. And I think as these teams see how the board starts to fill out, and they'll see that Malachi Starks is really highly rated from their scouting department. They're like, well, am I going to take a Shamar Stewart, who's a bit of a project kind of guy, or am I going to take Malachi Starks, who I know is going to be one of the best safeties in the league, theoretically? And then, we already talked about Tetairoa McMillan, but I would be absolutely, completely shocked. Oh my gosh, I think there was a huge trade that just went down. I don't know if you saw that. Hold on. I got to go back to the I got to go back. There was a big trade. Oh my God.
The pick is in for pick number 1. Did they make a trade here? I'm looking at the draft live.
No, not number 1. I think the number 2 pick just got traded away. Hold on.
Cleveland's been talking about how they're going to trade out.
Okay. The Browns are trading the number 2 pick overall, a 4th round pick and a 6th round pick to the Jaguars. Wow. The Jaguars are trading the number 5 overall pick, a 2nd round pick, and a 4th round pick, and their 2026 1st round pick. Wow. They're going after Travis Hunter.
They're going after Travis Hunter.
It's just a fact. That's who they want. Unless they just like Abdul Carter, I really doubt that. So
I doubt that.
That's kind of unbelievable. That's actually kind of insane.
Okay, guys, we're starting off with fireworks. Okay, we normally don't have a trade early that is actually in the draft. So Cam Ward just went number 1. This is no surprise to anyone. If there was going to be a chalk pick, in
we
this
can talk about
draft,
him.
it's going to be Cam Ward. It's a no-brainer. I mean, again, I feel like this is kind of a weak class, but Cam Ward is the toast of the quarterbacks in this class. So him going number 1 to Tennessee surprises nobody. Will Levis, to my dismay, I really wanted Will Levis to be good, but he really just didn't pan out, man. He played like he had rocks in his head. He turned the ball over at an alarming rate. I feel like Tennessee gave him every chance possible to be good.
And they wanted him to be.
He wanted it to be. I mean, they took a late shot on him after he sat there all day last year.
Spent a lot of money on the offensive side of the ball too, by the way.
And yeah, I mean, brought in Calvin Ridley. I mean, it just didn't work out. You know, brought in Tony Pollard. I mean, they were anemic. They were really, really bad. And the times that they played well, it was because of their backup. So you have to draft Cam Ward here. Problem is that I just don't see Tennessee doing a whole lot because they don't have a lot to offer. I mean, outside of Calvin Ridley and Tony Pollard, who do they have? I mean, I know they've been working on their trenches, Spencer, but I just don't see it being much better. This guy's going to really have to flash early on with not a lot of, groceries in the cupboard to be good. Your thoughts on Cam?
Yeah, I'll go over kind of my scouting report, I guess. Awesome feel in the pocket. I know some people say he stays in there too long, but I like tend to want that kind of thing for my quarterback, where a guy who, okay, I feel like you can coach him out of that, but you can see some plays where he has some really good feel for the pocket. I think that's one of the most elite traits you can have as a quarterback. Like I've talked about this a lot. He'll pick you apart if you try to just rush 3. I mean, completely destroy you. So I really like that. He'll juke you out of your shoes if you rush him. So that comes with that pocket feel. Really good at the intermediate throw, those 15 to 20 yard throws, man. He has really good velocity.
He's very accurate.
Arm strength, not well, I wouldn't even say bad arm strength, but not like top 10, maybe top 5 arm strength, but good zip to the ball, which I really like about him.
This trade is crazy.
Intermediate.
This trade is crazy, bro.
No, it's pretty nuts.
This is nuts.
He can throw with anticipation too. Those are also some really good traits. Better than someone like Tua, I'll say, when it comes to arm strength. And I'll wrap up my thoughts because I know like this is kind of like what everyone knew was going to happen, but he doesn't know when to just let it go. Sometimes he'll cost him some turnovers. I see him as a Jordan Love archetypal kind of guy. I mean, you'll see him compared to just about everybody ever. Like that's how like weird of a prospect that he is. But yeah, overall, they had to make this choice. You can't just leave the best quarterback on the board for a team that needs a quarterback. It's plain and simple. Whether or not he works out, I don't know. But this is the only pick the Titans could have taken here.
Yeah, there's no question about it. I mean, it's an area of need. It's the most important player on the field. The guy had a great college career, especially once he transferred over. 22 years young, 6'2", 220. He really is a nice mix of a bunch of different things, man. There's some Jordan Love to him, flash like Mahomes at times. There's even a little Mike Vick to him. Very, very accurate. Arm strength worries me, but it sounds like he's a pretty good kid too. When you draft these guys so high in the first round and you're giving them the keys to the Ferrari, you want to make sure that these guys aren't going to end up like Henry Ruggs. Now, there's no way to absolutely positively know. I mean, sure, the Wonderlic test, you're sitting down with his mama. You're doing everything basically except giving the kid a lie detector test. You know what I mean? So it's pull and pray, but I do think that Cam Ward is going to be a very good NFL pro, and I'm hoping that they give this guy some help. Now,
I feel like he's going into a decent situation for a rookie, though, all things considered. For a first overall,
Tennessee is a cool place to go live, too, man.
And they just signed, what's his name, too? Tyler Lockett. So
Lockett, Lockett, 15 yards and then fall down.
Got a 1,000-yard rusher.
Tony Pollard's good, man. I mean, he's not great.
Terrible.
He's good. He's not terrible. They're okay. I kind of feel like they did the right thing, kind of live tanking. They knew that Will Levis wasn't the guy. And so it was kind of a live tank at the end of the year. We'll do enough to be competitive, but we're not trying to win this game.
Not like the Giants, man. The Giants whiffed so hard at the end of the season.
Jeez, don't talk to Giants. The pick is in for Jacksonville. They trade their lives away to move up, and let's see who they take. Who are they taking here, Spencer? They taking Travis Hunter?
I would be shocked if they took Abdul Carter. I don't think it'd be like the most surprising thing of all time, but I feel like if you're trading up, you're not going to trade for someone who has injury problems right now. You know what I mean? Like that's just something that I don't think you leverage.
The Browns type of thing to do would be to take Ashton Gente here. That would be the Jags. That would be like what they would do. They want the guys
I didn't even
think bad.
I didn't really think about the implications of this because the big rumor before the draft was that the Jaguars were going to take Ashton Gente where they were. If they traded up to take Ashton Gente, I think I would pass out. I think I would pass out right now. That means that someone's falling to the Raiders. I think I'd have like a seizure. I'm not gonna lie. That would be the most insane thing. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think
Jacksonville gets the number 2, Cleveland gets the 5, and a massive haul. This is a win for Cleveland, man.
That's a big win for Cleveland. I agree. I was gonna say that too. I forgot to mention that. I think this is a huge move for Cleveland.
It helps them now. It helps them later. Their roster
is terrible.
Top 5 players gonna be there. Sure, it could be Abdul Carter still. I mean, you still got room to go get a second-day quarterback. I mean,
like Will Johnson, there's no such thing as reaching in this draft, by the way. It literally doesn't exist.
No, so you like the guy, you get the guy.
Yeah, take him.
You take the guy. Yeah, this is not a heavy star power draft, but my thing is to give up so much to draft up. I want to see who you're taking here. You have to make this make sense here, Jacksonville. Duval has needs everywhere, and Liam Cohen is walking into a mess. Now, I know Shad Khan's got pockets deep as the Atlantic Ocean, okay? But we have to justify this to our fans because you have traded away quite a bit just to move up a couple spots. Here comes Mr. Ozempic himself. Roger.
Hey, shout out to Adam Scheffner for not releasing the pick, by the way.
Yeah.
That was terrible last year. I hate it when guys do that because
come on, bro.
I have these guys on notifications, so I kind of get spoiled a little bit. So I'm glad he's not doing that right now.
No, it's kind of nice to have the anticipation of it all drop. Here we go.
I hate it when they go to the podium and just come on, man. Just read the pick. Let's just read the pick.
Here. Don't give me. I don't need a speech. Give me this whole speech.
Wow. Yeah, they're having someone present it.
That's
the Walter.
Armstead.
Oh,
it's Armstead's out up there.
Award.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
This could be a make or break pick for Jacksonville here. I mean,
they're
Trevor
leveraging their entire everything on this.
Yeah, I mean, you got to hope first of all that your quarterback comes back 100%. He took a lick.
Or good at all.
And good at all. Trevor Lawrence.
I hope he's like good.
Trevor, I've been saying this for a while, man. Trevor Lawrence has been getting a pass for so long.
I don't know why. Not compared to other quarterbacks.
Because he's the golden boy. You know what I mean? He's sunshine, so he gets a pass.
He is. He's just like untouchable because he
gets a pass. Because he was so hyped coming out of
Peyton
Clemson.
Manning coming out of college.
Yeah, he gets a pass, and I don't think is well deserved. But I think that what they're working with Etienne, Brian Thomas Jr., even their, Brenton Strange is going to get a little bit of love in Jacksonville this year. They just got to build up their defense. Could this be where they take Abdul Carter?
That would be crazy.
To trade up to get a hurt Abdul Carter would be
that
would be kind of crazy. I'm starting to wonder why they traded up here.
This is chalk right here. They're going to take Travis Hunter.
Go two ways with it.
I got the notification.
Man, Travis Hunter is gonna be a Jaguar.
I get it. This isn't. I mean, I'll say this. If you feel like you want to go up and get your guy, then you go up and get him. But
I never saw Travis Hunter being a Jag. I didn't see this.
Absolutely nobody saw this.
Yeah. Me personally, for this to pan out, for what you gave up to get him. He basically has to be
non-quarterback.
He basically has to be Dion.
He has to play both sides full time.
He has to play both sides.
It's like that.
Yeah, he has to play both ways, and maybe that's what Liam Cohen is thinking.
Yeah, maybe in the pre-draft interviews, he's like, "This is the one team that told him." You can, all right, buddy. You can follow your dreams.
A couple days ago, I saw an interview where he was saying that, if these guys don't plan on playing me both ways, I might as well not play football anymore. And I kind of laughed. Yeah. I'm like, bro, who do you think you are? You know what I mean? You're not Deion Sanders. To be saying that, you haven't played a down in the NFL, but I guess, the Jacksonville Jaguars have done their homework and they like what they've seen. I mean, he's fired up. He's big time personality. They need something like this in Jacksonville. I'm digging.
They don't
I'm
really have
digging.
anything to draw to
They
the
don't really
team.
have anything that you really galvanize the team. I'm digging the fuchsia jacket. I mean,
this means Ashton Genty's going to the Raiders.
It could be, unless or I think what could potentially happen here now is that the phones are ringing because this kind of shook up the top 5. And I think you might see like Chicago or Denver find their way.
It did shake things up in a sense, but also bit. Like everyone knew Travis Hunter was going to be the second pick too. You know what I mean? So
I thought Shedeur was going to find his way up early. I thought Cleveland's so dumb. You know what I mean? I think they're so bad. Like these GMs, the Giants, the Browns. I mean, they've shown you who they are over the last couple of years, you know, with Deshaun Watson and Daniel Jones and then not paying Saquon. You know, history repeats itself and you just think they're going to do something stupid like draft Shedeur Sanders number 2 overall. So I took a stab at it in a couple of my mocks. Now I'm thinking that Shedeur might fall out of the top 32. I could see it. Like if Pittsburgh doesn't take him or
late trade up.
Or New Orleans doesn't take him, if the Saints don't want you, you're in trouble because the Saints are bad.
I could still see the Saints taking Shedeur.
The Saints are they're grits. You know what I mean? I think so
part of the smear campaign against him has been noise, like pre-draft noise.
It's been Dion.
I do think he's going to hear his name in the first round, man.
Yeah,
I think a lot of these. I think a lot of these reports are just smoke screens from a lot of people, like trying to devalue him as much as possible. If the Saints don't take him, though, I think someone's nervous enough that I think that the Steelers would draft him, that someone jumps up. You know?
Schefter is saying that
Cleveland Browns.
It could be the
Raiders.
Yeah, it could be. Schefter is saying that they're planning on playing them both ways. Which, if you're going to give up the house for a player, you have to play them both ways. You better.
For a non-quarterback, you better.
You know, you better. And the war room right now in Jacksonville, they seem pretty happy with this, man. It could turn out to be good. I mean, Andre Cisco did just leave. I know he plays safety, but, you know, Duval needs help, man. You know, they really do. I mean, they have not recovered from what was the name of that coach?
I'm sure they took Abdul Carter. I'm so
they
sure
have to. Yeah,
this is a no-brainer for them. If
you
they
would
don't,
think.
That would be something else, wouldn't it? If they don't, I mean, they put that pick in pretty quick. I think this is an automatic pick for the Giants. And I've heard a lot of people say report-wise that, oh, you know, this makes Kayvon Thibodeau unnecessary. And I'm like,
no, that makes reason? For what reason? That this helps build your defense.
Won the Super Bowl with a like mega power super defensive line. They had multiple guys, and they've had that for years, even going back to Hassan Reddick in that first you know, for the many years where they were like the one year they made the Super Bowl too. You need a super power defensive line. You don't need one guy on the line. Kayvon Thibodeau and Abdul Carter are going to make a duo together. I mean, I'm assuming that's what the pick they make.
If that's the pick they make. Dude, this is a great trade for Cleveland. Dude, we might be turning the corner here with some of these, you know, GMs and war room front offices making moves that actually make sense. I think this is the smartest
move that the Browns have made in a long time.
And this might be the best decision the Browns have made in 10 years.
Yeah.
I can't think of a better one. Because they're going to get a quality player at
Johnny
5
in the first round.
They're still going to get a quality player, dude.
They might take Tetairoa McMillan at 5. I don't know.
Now, there you go. Jerry Jeudy and Tet and T-Mac. I could see
they need help everywhere. They
need help everywhere. You know, they need help everywhere. Dude, you could end up with Jackson Dart being a Brown, which I don't hate that. I don't hate it. I don't hate it, man. I mean, Kenny Pickett cannot be your starting quarterback day one. This is what I know. So the Giants war room is live. Yeah, Joe Flacco's in a wheelchair right now. Joe Flacco's having somebody wipe his ass right now. Stop. Joe Flacco is on like crutches. I mean
they signed him, so they obviously, it was Abdul Carter. That no surprises there at all, right?
Yeah, Abdul Carter on one side, Kayvon Thibodeau on the other side. I'm not overly worried about Abdul Carter's health. You know what I mean?
It was enough for him to slip one pick. I mean, that's really what it came down to.
Yeah. The Giants have made a good pick here, and Cleveland has made a good pick. Dude, I better go outside and look up in the sky. The sky might be falling because I can't believe that these guys are actually doing something right. This is a great great pick for Big Blue. And this is exactly what Big Blue is, man. When Big Blue has been successful in their Super Bowl years, when they've been successful at all in any time I can remember, they've always had good defense, man. You know what I mean? Strahan, Marshall, Lawrence Taylor. I mean, O.C. Umenyiora. I mean, this is just the next decade. This is the next generation of great defensive players for Big Blue. Now they got Kayvon Thibodeau on one side. They got Abdul Carter. You got somebody that can actually go get the quarterback, which is what you need, man. Giants don't turn the ball over at anybody. This is a great pick. Hopefully he'll be able to handle things in New York, which I think he will. Pennsylvania's right up the block from New York. I really like this pick. And I like that
some
chain he's
interesting
got
things
on.
about him. Yeah, converted from inside linebacker all the way to defensive end in his career at Penn State. Only played defensive end for 1 year.
1 year.
Yeah, it's crazy. But special levels of speed and bend, right? That's why he's getting drafted number 3 overall. Simple as that.
He can get
not a
around.
strong anchor, though. He's not a monster against the run. There is a learning curve for him, to be honest with you. This isn't a I can't think of his name last year. Texans took him from Alabama, defensive end. He's not like this like mega polished defensive end with all the pass rush moves that you'll ever want, but it's just his athletic profile. And I think playing the linebacker position just helped him so much. And I think it's going to make a really great pairing. I think this helps Kayvon Thibodeau more than any offseason program he could have ever been a part of, because now there's just pressure taken away from him. I mean, seriously, can you name one other defensive lineman that plays for the Giants that have contributed anything, over the last few years? Even Kayvon Thibodeau.
Now you
had
can't
like 5 sacks
Kayvon
last year and an injured, kind of an injured, riddled year for him.
Yeah.
The year before, it was his best year of his career. But this is going to like allow him to be a little bit better because teams are going to focus a little bit less on him. And this is one of the most promising things I think the Giants have been a part of. And now I guarantee you that war room is taking a look, and as the draft keeps forming up, I think they're going to be one of those teams that are going to want to trade up and take a quarterback.
They want Jackson Dart, dude. They've been talking about it all day. Don't be surprised if the Giants, pull a rabbit out of their hat. They're probably on the phone right now. They're like, they probably have like a 4-level tier plan, and they're like, tier 1, check. This could fall their way, man. Abdul Carter, the Giants, is great now. I mean, a little small at 251. You could put on 10 more pounds, you know what I mean, of muscle, and he's going to be a beast for Big Blue, man. This is a great move for the Giants. I mean, they need help everywhere, but they've made it very clear by bringing in, Mr. Pick Six and Russ Dickulus that they're not really looking for a starting quarterback this year. They're looking for someone that they can develop, Alex Smith Mahomes style. They're looking for that, but they want to get their defense together, which defense builds championships, man. It brings championships home. I mean, you and I have talked about this till the cows have come home. The last thing that everyone remembers about this last season was watching the Kansas City Chiefs get their doors blown off by the Philadelphia Eagles. The Chiefs were never in that game. I looked at that TV in disbelief. I couldn't believe it was happening again. Defense, the trenches, big-bodied guys who are athletic, and the Eagles have slowly built it. How? Through the draft. And so other teams are like, you know what, man? We're going to try to do that. We're going to try to do that. Imitation is the highest form of flattery. And people steal plays all the time. People steal recipes all the time and then put a stamp on them and call them their own all the time. And so I think that's what you're going to start to see in this draft. Like I told you the other day during our mock draft top 10, that I believe that there's going to be a run of just offensive linemen in this draft.
And there's going to be a lot of edge rushers that are overdrafted in the first round too.
Yeah, look at Abdul Carter's grill. Holy cow.
This is where for me, this is where the draft starts. I mean, I know that the trade happened, but this has been chalk, right? We knew this. We didn't know. I mean,
we just didn't know Jacksonville was going to do what they did.
Yeah. Now, no one knows what's going to happen now. Is this Will Campbell? Is this Mason Graham? I don't know.
Patriots are on the clock. I think they could go team. They could go T-Mac here, man. They need help bad.
This is who I initially thought. This is before the Stephon Diggs signing for me.
They've worked so hard on their offense in the offseason. I mean, their defense in the offseason.
They did sign a lot of defensive guys, so they could afford.
They overpaid for everyone. I mean, they overpaid for Spillane.
But they did build it.
They build it. You know what I mean?
They brought Harold Landry over.
Harold Landry came over from Tennessee.
The defensive lineman from the Eagles.
They went and got Diggs to hold it down. Now let's go get our rookie wide receiver. Let's give Drake May some help here. You know, I mean, if it's not going to be T-Mac.
What if they go like Tyler Warren here?
No. They still
You don't think so?
No, because Hunter Henry, I believe, is still there. And Hunter Henry is more than serviceable. Well, you laugh, right? But when you go look at Hunter Henry's numbers, Hunter Henry has like 7 or 8 touchdowns a year for the Patriots. He's been like their number 1 receiver. And so I don't think they're going to wait just yet.
I think it's Mason Graham.
Mason Graham. I think it could be Mason Graham, dude. Could be Mason Graham here. I mean,
Will Campbell wouldn't shock me either. If Will Campbell is the pick here, that means somebody's falling to the Raiders.
Yeah, a very good player.
That excites me a lot.
Mason Graham is when you think about Mason Graham, you can almost see the Patriot jersey on him.
I know.
You know what I mean? He has the look of a Patriot. He has the look of a Patriot. And so that wouldn't shock me.
It looks like he's already wearing their uniform.
It wouldn't shock me at all. It wouldn't shock me at all. But I do think that T-Mac would be a good pick here. I mean, they need.
The only reason I agree with you on T-Mac is just I always think of Vrabel, and when they traded A.J. Brown, I think that's somehow in the back of his mind where he's like, he had his guy at wide receiver, and then the ownership forced him to like get rid of him. And I think that in those conversations that he has with the Patriots, he's like, you can't do this to me. You know, you got to let me run the team how I want to. And if he feels like Tetairoa McMillan is his guy, then that's what's going to happen.
I've watched the Patriots go 13 plays for 30 yards. They need help on offense. Ramondre Stevenson is 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Stephon Diggs is coming off an ACL.
That's not impossible.
I wouldn't be dead. I wouldn't be.
Literally anything is possible here.
Anything is possible here
at 4. This is where the draft starts,
Anything is possible here for, and I got news
because
for you,
every team needs a running back because everyone devalued the running back position. So now suddenly everybody
all of a sudden is going to want the Raiders. Raiders are on the phone right now. Cleveland's on the phone right now.
I think there's a lot of calls happening right now. I think everyone is waiting for this pick to fall, and then
it's going to go haywire because if I'm telling you right now, if AJ has a chance to go to Vegas. And Las Vegas does not pass on AJ. He's going to be a bear.
Especially because the 2 highest coveted offensive tackles are still available. You don't see that very often.
You don't see it that often. I could see a situation where the Bears maybe trade with the Raiders here. And, the Raiders
It's Will Campbell. It's Will Campbell. Yeah, I mean, not. Yeah, I mean, that's about what we thought. You know what I mean? This is a Vrabel guy, tough, seasoned. You know what I mean? Helping out your guy. Oh my God, man! The Raiders are going to get.
The Raiders.
That means the Raiders are getting either Ashton Genty or Mason Graham.
Yeah.
Unless
that's going to be a great pick.
If they don't take one of these guys,
oh my God! Watch them take Tetairoa McMillan, and you throw your.
Well, I wouldn't mind that, but the fact that both of those guys are available, and it's guaranteed that the Raiders can take one or the other at this point, which I didn't think would be possible. I really didn't. That's kind of unbelievable.
I'm a little surprised that Will Campbell has gone this high.
It doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me.
I mean, he's good.
He's 1A and 1B at the number 1 offensive lineman prospects.
Yeah. They're making sure that they protect Drake May. They're making sure, man. This dude, I'm telling you, if everything breaks right for what they've done this offseason, Mike Vrabel is going to be in good shape with the Pats here. Sure. I mean, 21 years old. I mean, you're going to have this guy for years. 6'6", 324. I mean, you look at his tape here. He is pushing fools around with ease. I like him. He's got super good run game moving. And what do the Patriots like to do? They love to run the football, Spencer. They are a run the football type of team. I like this for them. He is just a tyrant. When I think about Will Campbell on the line, and this
athlete with a good anchor, raw strength, good footwork. He does struggle. Well, the one thing I'm sure they're talking about on TV right now, it's got short arms. Everyone hates that. I don't really care about short arms personally. I care about
squats 600.
He does struggle at the first point of contact sometimes. I think that does come with his shorter arms, but without a doubt a top 10 pick in the draft for sure. I don't think this is a bad pick at all.
I'm of the thought process that the short arm thing is overrated. I get it. I get it. Okay, I mean, we're not T-Rexes here. You know what I mean? We're human beings.
Yeah.
If you've got a great first move, it doesn't. Does it really matter that much? You know what I mean? Now he's more of a slower guy, so we're looking at technique when we're thinking about Will Campbell. But this is a solid line, man. They're building a
light on his feet, very light on his feet, which is
for 6'6". For 6'6", I like this. I'm telling you, I know they've overpaid, and if these things don't come to pass, they've spent a lot of money that they're going to be in trouble for.
Yeah, a lot of dead cap space.
A lot of dead cap. I'm not a big fan of Stephon Diggs, but look, I will never, ever, ever fault a team for trying. Dude, do you want to win or not? I mean, this is a franchise that has 6 Super Bowls. They know winning. That's what they know. And so they're not going to allow themselves to just become perennial losers. They want to win. And it's just the next generation of trying to win for New England. Tom Brady's gone. Belichick is dating college kids. Like, it's time, it's it's just time to move on. And I'm telling you right now, the team that is winning this draft right now is the Raiders, and they haven't even picked yet. Because they're getting Gente or Mason Graham. To me, these are literally, in my mind, they could have easily been top 2 and 3 players.
This is automatic for the Raiders too, man.
Easily.
It has to be.
If the Raiders
Cleveland's going to take, they might take Membu. They might take Membu. The Browns might take
man. I know, and the Jets really want Membu too, so they could be making a call right now. Cleveland might just say, you know what, man, we're just going to stockpile. We're just going to, dude. Seriously, Cleveland could take money and picks right now from a lot of teams if they were smart, because they're still such great players. Drop down to 7. What are you missing out on, really? If you don't believe you can win today and you're building your team from the ground up, which they're doing, they're years away. The whole Deshaun Watson situation set this team back years.
This feels easy for the Browns to take Mason Graham here.
Mason Graham is who I would take if I'm the Browns.
You just build your defensive line and start from there.
That's who I would take.
There's nothing. It just seems like an easy way for a team that's stockpiling picks to build in the trenches like that. You build from the inside out. I mean, how can you go wrong if you're the Browns here?
I mean, what do the Browns have right now? Seriously, what do they have? All they have is Myles Garrett, and he threw a tissy until he got paid billions. So you got to show some good faith and give him some help. Mason Graham's a good pick here. I like this pick. If they don't take Mason Graham, I'll be really surprised. 6'3".
Yeah, we'll have to see.
21 years old. If it's not, then Mason Graham is going to the Raiders. He'll be going to the Raiders.
That the Carolina's fielding calls for the number 8 pick.
Ooh.
I think teams are going to wait to see how this.
Carolina would maybe take Tetaroa. I could see that. And they have stuff to give, man. Carolina has done a nice job this offseason, too. They've overpaid a lot of guys.
That's
Mason Graham. That's a great pick. What a great dude. Let me tell you something, man. Cleveland right now, A+.
Cleveland's the biggest winners of the draft.
Right now, Cleveland, the Browns are winning this draft. A+.
Big time.
Great
they got
job.
One of the best players in the draft, and they traded back.
Dude, go look at Mason Graham's highlights, dude. He was beasting fools all year long, man. This is a great pick.
This is a really good pick for them.
I like them a lot. So AJ is going to the Raiders, but we'll give Mason Graham his love.
It seems like a home run pick, but it's also the Raiders. You know what I mean? This is It seems very easy for the Raiders to take him right here. It seems like an
AJ does not go to the Raiders when you have Zamir White and Amir Abdullah and Dylan Laub as your running back room. That might be the worst running back room in the entire National Football League. Not to mention,
my hands are sweating right now.
Not to mention, very underrated offensive line. I know they're having some problems right now with Colton Miller. They're going to get that figured out. And he'll be
they will.
Very good. Very good left tackle.
It's draft season, dude.
They're built to run.
They're not talking about contracts.
They're built to run. What would be the problem here? I mean, Pete Carroll has learned from, Marshawn Lynch to run the ball. He'll run the ball
in
Vegas.
Go back to the end of his tenure with Seattle.
He ran the ball a lot.
When you think back to the end, actually, when you think about Seattle now, the grass is not greener for the other side for Seattle.
It's not.
After they let go of Pete Carroll.
It's not, dude.
They were making the playoffs with him in one of the best divisions in football, and now they're like sliding out of the playoffs. So
exactly. I mean, this is
such an easy pick for the Raiders, man. I really hope they do it. I wouldn't be upset at Membu as long as it's not like Jalen.
Membu would be good, but I mean,
it just seems very straight.
It just shows that you don't value the running back position. What I really like about Mason Graham here for Cleveland, that it just allows them to now get really flexible.
They can do whatever.
You cannot double Myles Garrett anymore. You know, it opens up a myriad of defensive schemes. The DC can now actually play chess instead of playing checkers.
The Browns, wait till the third round. Take Will Howard and let him sit a year behind Joe
just
Flacco.
Let Will Howard. Yeah, and that's another thing, man. People are sleeping on some of these quarterbacks that are later in the draft. Will Howard is a national champion. He's a national champion.
Let him sit a year with Kevin Stefanski, man. Let that happen.
Will Howard to Cleveland would be dope. Well, I think Will Howard. You have to trade up to get him. He'll be there. No one wants Will Howard.
Al McCord, I kind of like him too, to be honest.
Yeah. What does no one want? Jalen Milroe. There's so many guys. Like, why? Why would you not? I don't know. Why would you not? Okay, let's. Is Rob the Raider in the queue? We're gonna have our first special guest, you guys, here at World of Matchups. Booster, supporter of the show from day one. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in from our home of Las Vegas, Nevada. My homeboy, good friend, and big-time supporter of WON. Ladies and gentlemen, Raider fan extraordinaire, Rob the Raider. This is it, my dude. Ashton Gente is right there for you. Talk to me about how you're feeling right now. I know you and Spencer must be sweating bullets.
We're definitely sweating bullets because, we
lost him
completely.
I got him.
There we go.
You're good.
The Raiders are going to Raider sometimes. I admit that 100%. However, when you're getting the next Barry Sanders, potentially, the Saquon Barkley 2.0, it's right here in our laps. I'm playing running back for the Raiders if they don't take Ashton Gente next. That's what it's going to come down to.
This is a great pick. If you just have to take him. Let's play devil's advocate here and say that the Raiders are going to Raider because they do. And they don't take Ashton Gente. Who's the guy you want?
Well, let's go with Mimbo. He's 6'4", 330. He has a very pass block strategy. He's very good at it.
Good.
His comp was Tristan Wirfs, who was Spy Tech's boy at left tackle when he was drafted in Tampa Bay. There's little things he has to improve, like his anchor, and his kick step. But let's not forget, the reason why we got Chip Kelly is for that zone blocking scheme. He ain't gonna have to worry about one-on-ones. He's gonna block an area. And who's better to block an area than Mimbo?
Oh, my God, they did it.
They took Ashton Gente?
Yes!
Nice.
Yes! Oh, my God.
Nice.
Yeah, they did it.
Congratulations, fellas.
Give me a hug, Spence. Give me a hug.
Oh, my God.
Congratulations. That's big.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
Guys, the AFC West just got better. There's no question about it. Even as a Kansas City Chief fan, this is something that I wanted to see happen because the fit is just there. And so I'm going to fall back and I'm going to let Spencer and Rob have their moment because this is what they've been waiting for. And the Raiders have been waiting a long time to come back to fruition. So, guys, take it away.
Yeah, we've been waiting. I mean, tons of years where the Raiders take potential guys. And I understand, I guess, maybe the draft philosophy behind that, where you want to take guys with a lot of potential. But I think when you look at a pick like this, it just falls to your lap. You got, like we talked about this. They do have a pretty decent offensive line. I like DJ Glaze. I don't. He's not a superstar, but they don't need to take a Membo there. I wouldn't have been mad. But when you have a perennial, all-pro type of guy like Ashton Gente fall to you, and it's just nice to see the Raiders for 2 years in a row take the no-brainer pick. Take some guys on your team that are going to help you win right away. I love it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Normally this would have been a point where we would have reached for a Shador, and then if we were really crazy, we would have reached for a Jackson Dart,
Jalen Walker.
Right, one of those things, But what I'm really happy about is the fact that our running back room at minimum went from worst to at least worthy. And that's the only thing that we can really ask for, And with Chip Kelly, running the offensive schemes that we're going to run, and we're going to protect Geno Smith a lot more. I know he's a controversial quarterback right now, but PFF says he was the 12th best quarterback in his time in Seattle. And now he's coming to a much better offensive line, and he's going to be with a much better offensive coordinator. The sky's the limit for us, fellas. I don't really care about pass protection, from a running back, because if a running back is what you desperately need to pass protect, you ain't got a player anyway. So let's just be happy. Let's celebrate. Tom Brady, beers on me.
That's huge, fellas. I got to be honest. I mean, that's a big pick for the Las Vegas Raiders. And look, I had this conversation with somebody at my restaurant yesterday. Sometimes just having a winner like Tom Brady in the building, no one even really knows what he's doing there. He's kind of like just there. He's kind of like Elon Musking his way around Vegas. He's in the building. He's talking to people. People like, yeah, tell us about this. Sometimes that's enough to just change a culture.
Have you ever seen? Go ahead.
And you can't tell me with any kind of certainty that no one talked to him about this pick. Like they went to Tom and was like, "Well, Tom, what do you think?" I guarantee it. I guarantee it. And when you have a guy who should have been the Heisman Trophy winner, and you are in absolute need of a guy who can break it, and I don't care about the pass pro either. I really don't. This is a 3-down back with soft hands. I know he's a little small, but they got a decent offensive line in Vegas. And now, man, I'm telling you right now, guys, and I'm putting my stamp on it and saying it with my chest, the AFC West is about to be the best division in football again. You heard it here first.
Yeah. Have you ever noticed that, like, when CEOs go to new companies, they're not necessarily in that industry, but they're the CEO of a former company moving over? It's the same way with Tom Brady. A winner is a winner. Doesn't matter where you get a winner from. When you put a winner in the building, he walks through, he notices things that aren't winning material. So when he goes in and he sees clown stuff here and silly stuff there, he gets it out of there. He doesn't have to know what it doesn't have to look like. He just knows what it has to look like. And that's what, we had to be thankful for Tom Brady. He definitely had a lot of decisions making, coming in. And, we got Bowers last year, which was a steal. We got Jonty this year, another steal. And the only common denominator we have for that is Tom Brady. So thanks to Tom Brady, we're no longer going to be the bottom barrel AFC West team. We're going to be coming out swinging. And I hope everybody else in our division is ready.
That's a fact. Because now that you can run the ball, that opens up a lot. Spencer's just grinning from ear to ear. I wish you guys could see.
Crazy, man.
Spencer's so happy, man. Listen, Brock Bowers last year, Ashton Genty this year.
In the second round, dude, is going to line up for the Raiders, too. I can just guarantee it.
Raiders
one of these wide receivers that are really good is going to fall
Raiders
to
are going to have a good draft today, man.
Or even just Trey Amos. We'll take a cornerback in the second round. I mean, there's going to be somebody. If they do this again, oh my God, man.
You got to work on your defense, man. Got to be able to stop people. We know you can score.
The Raiders aren't winning the Super Bowl this year, but they're building a team finally. Building.
They got the building. Now they got the coach and GM. They've had the owner. But I'm telling you, you cannot minimize what having Tom Brady be a silent voice in that building has meant. You've already seen them make the right moves. They did not overpay for guys like Spillane. They let other guys go. Trevon Melrick. They just let them go. They're like, dude, we can find this in the draft and then put them on rookie deals. I'm not a big Geno fan, but you could do worse than Geno Smith for 2 years. And I'm telling you right now, let the Raiders find a way to get like Jalen Milroe here. Let the Raiders find a way to get Jackson Dart here. I'm telling you, man, they're cooking with gas. You guys want to laugh at me all the time because, like, all these Chief fans want to be like, well, you shouldn't love the Raiders. I'm a football fan first. So I'm a fan of ball. I love ball first. I love my team, but I love ball. And I want to see the Raiders actually bring something to Kansas City when we play them. Every time we play you guys, it's close, but you never win. The Raiders are like 2-15 versus Mahomes.
Yeah, thinking back to that fumbled snap last year, the Raiders since that game have added Geno Smith and Ashton Genty. That would have, the idea of that changes everything for this team.
It's a great landing spot. It's a great landing spot. It really, really is.
Let Eamon Warray fall to the Raiders in the second round, man. Patrick Graham is gonna have. He's having a nice. I'm telling you, you know what I like about AJ here, man. You don't see too many guys in the NFL anymore with breakaway running back speed.
You see Saquon with it. Who else? Who else is running through the hole and running downfield for 60 yards?
In the blink of an eye, too.
You don't just see it,
and then suddenly he's gone.
It used to be that way all the time. Barry Sanders used to do it. Chris Johnson used to do it. Dude, in today's day and age of NFL, you do not see running backs busting through holes and then going 55 yards for touchdowns. AJ can do that. He can do that. As long as you guys run, and then you're going to run so many different schemes for him. I'm happy for you guys, man, because look, I remember what it was like being 2-10, 2-12, 2-14, being horrendous. You know, I remember when they were flying banners over Arrowhead Stadium. You can get into Arrowhead for $6. Dudes were wearing black to the stadium. I remember that, man, like it was yesterday. I remember being bad, and then I remember like seeing them make these moves to draft Mahomes, and you start to see the culture change, and then you get to the playoffs, and you lose a game you should win, and then you get to the playoffs again, and you lose again, and then finally you break through and you win a Super Bowl, and then all of a sudden the floodgates are open, and all you want to do is win. I could see this for the Raiders if this kind of picking continues. I mean, Bowers and Gente back-to-back years. You put together like another 3-4 picks like this, Raiders could go to a Super Bowl. And I know some of you watching are laughing. Armand Membu to the Jets. I told you. What did I tell you, Spencer? This is one that I nailed. I called this a couple days ago. What do you think about Membu?
Big fan. He's probably my number one offensive lineman coming out of the draft. So, like I said, I would not have been mad if they took him. But going down my scouting report, offensive tackle from Mizzou, obviously super fast for an offensive tackle. Smaller size, huge frame though. Hands and feet don't always connect. I think you see that with a big frame kind of guy. Sometimes he struggles to stay connected, but a zone blocker, which is easily one of the most valuable things that you can be in the NFL as an offensive lineman. And he has arm length. Okay, everybody can say that. The guy has arm length. So there you go. I know everyone loves that one. Polished blocker. And in my notes, I said he should be the first offensive lineman off the board. So there he is.
I can't tell you guys what I would do to have Armand Membu on the Chiefs. So I won't even mention it online.
Chiefs are desperate.
I don't want it to come back and haunt me. I mean, he's a Mizzou product. You put Armand Membu on one side, and now you got Olu Fashanu on the other side. I'm telling you right now, man, the Jets are going to run the football at will this year. My team to take a step this year that no one's going to expect anything from is the New York Jets. I'm telling you, Justin Fields has gotten a raw deal his entire career. They have Breece Hall, Isaiah Davis, and Braylon Allen. Don't be surprised to see Breece Hall get traded during this draft either, because they have so much in the way of running, and Justin Fields can run. Now you've got another solid tackle. Membu is really, really good, and you got Garrett Wilson. I mean, you have a good team. Let them find their way into a tight end, and the Jets are going to be crazy. Rob the Raider, we're going to let you go, bro.
I appreciate it, man.
Congratulations, bro. We're so happy for you.
I'm celebrating right now.
I have my bachelor party. I'm going to lose my voice by tonight. I have my bachelor party tonight. I'm not sleeping tonight. This combined with that, I'm not sleeping tonight.
I'm with you, Spence.
Raider Nation, stand up. Thank you again for coming on, man. Stay close. If you're still watching, we might bring you on a little bit later for the draft. I'll text you and let you know, Mike. Peace out. So Armand Membu goes to the Jets. I call this.
Yeah, just smart, man.
Smart football.
If you're in this draft too, and you're a bad team, just draft smart here, dude. Don't one of my big kind of mock draft things is that Jalen Walker is going to drop, and everyone's like, Jalen Walker, top 10. I think these GMs are like, you know what? Screw that, man. Let's go trenches. Let's make the smart picks. Will Campbell, Armin are starting, offensive linemen. Everyone's played the top 10 smart this year, which you rarely see, especially from the franchises that have been picking at the top here. Everyone is doing just about what I thought they would. Things are going to get real wacky now, in my opinion, because all the guys are off the board. This tier 1 is done. Well, I know you really like Tyler Warren. I'm lower on Tyler Warren than most people are personally.
I hope he goes to Indianapolis.
There's a hard line, in my opinion, between the guys who are just taken and everybody else. Now, like tier 2, Tetairoa McMillan, Mike Green, Tyler Warren, Will Johnson, Jahdae Barron, Colston Loveland, Jalen Walker. These guys are not at the same level of the players who were just taken. So
no, they're not,
hey,
man.
And if you're the Jets, good for you for actually giving your new quarterback a chance. Justin Fields is now, he should have had a full chance in Pittsburgh, by the way. I mean, they completely screwed this guy over.
I'm telling you.
What does he do? Go undefeated, and you're like, sorry, go to the bench. A young quarterback on an expiring deal, and you're going to bring in Russell Wilson to lead you on a Super Bowl run? What a stupid decision by the Steelers last year to do that. And and if you're and if you're Pittsburgh last year and your plan was to do that, which obviously it was, change your plans. Who cares about what your plans are going into the season? If you have a young quarterback who comes in and leads you to winning games every week, why are you going to punish them for doing that? They should have re-signed him. But of course, if I was Justin Fields, I'd be like,
I would have left too.
You, Pittsburgh,
screw you.
Yeah. I would never even.
And I can't wait to play you guys. Exactly. I mean, Darren Mugabe, he did a great job here picking Armand Membu. I'm telling you, man, the Jets are in a good position, man. They're building a bully. Andre Sisco's a quiet, slept-on addition for their safety room. Guy hits hard. You bring in Membu to go with Fazanu. I already talked about the running backs. Dude.
No trade for the Panthers. This is where Tetairoa McMillan goes.
Tetairoa McMillan's going to go to the Panthers here.
They would be very silly not to. If they go back into the season again with the wide receiver room that they have, oh man, I think that'd be a disaster.
Tetairoa McMillan's definitely going for
even
sure.
If he's not necessarily the number 8 pick. Well, we've already talked about this. They're 8 to 15, man. There's no difference.
Yeah,
just take the guy who's going to help your young quarterback whose career looked like it was over. So literally everyone in the world thought his career was over until he came back in. Don't lose that momentum without investing something for him here.
Well, you're going to lose Adam Thielen here. Thielen is 33, 34. Sure. Jalen Coker, Jatavion Sanders. You know what I mean? They're good players, but you need a field stretcher. You need a T. Higgins body type. Bryce Young needs to just be able to, if the bull rush is coming his way, he can throw it up and say, well, Tet's down there somewhere. Let me just give it a good old-fashioned heave, Kyler Murray style, and see what happens. So I'm really hoping that that's who they take here. We'll see. I mean, they're building a team slowly here, Spencer. Chuba Hubbard's not bad. You know what I mean? Not bad at all. He had almost 1,200 yards rushing last year.
Because who else are you going to... I mean, Tyler Warren, I guess, too, could be taken here, but I think they need wide receiver.
Too early. You got Jatavion Sanders. You haven't given that guy a chance yet.
Yeah, you literally just drafted him.
He's hurt a lot. You got J.C. Horn. You just brought over Tank from the Kansas City Chiefs. You know what I mean? You have...
I was right. Players. Hey, I just hit on 2 of my big best bets. I just realized Mason Graham goes at 5, Tetairoa McMillan top 10. I just hit on 2 of my best bets there.
Yeah, boom.
The only one I missed on the Travis Hunter one, like I said, I thought I was going to miss that one, but it was just too juicy of a number not to. The only one I have left is Malachi Starks under 23.5.
This is a good pick, man.
I love best bets for the draft. I don't know. I feel like I do so much studying, I can kind of feel it. But this is I feel like you could have bought this guy's jersey before the draft even started.
This is a good spot. Panthers. You have Xavier Legette on one side, you got Tetairoa on another side, you got Jalen Coker, you know what I mean? Bryce Young, Chuba Hubbard, Jatavion Sanders. They've worked on their defense. Let me tell you something. They might be the backdoor cover kings this year. There's a team every year
that win some games this year.
They're going to win some games.
Yeah.
They're going to win some games. Now, is he polished? He's not polished, but he is NFL ready. He's NFL ready, man. This is a good pick for Carolina, man. Carolina is going to be on their way back here shortly. They're not going to be as bad as people think. And I like this kid's size.
It all started with that Chiefs game for me. That performance from Bryce Young in that Chiefs game made me think that the Panthers are going in the right direction.
Yeah, they could
have
beat Kansas City that day. They could have beat the Chiefs that day.
Think back to those games. What if they had a guy?
And they were down like 10 points if I remember correctly. Chuba Hubbard had a
back to that game where Jamar Chase was carving them up. When I watch Tetairoa McMillan highlights, I feel like I'm not comparing him to him, but I'm saying when you see Tetairoa McMillan make these huge plays, those are the kind of formulas that you need to beat the Chiefs. And if Bryce Young can continue to play that way that he has, and now again they're investing a lot into him finally, yeah, man, I dude, these teams, man, this has been a good draft so far for these teams.
It really has.
It's very disciplined so far. All of these teams have been very disciplined, and I think that while, like I said, would he have been selected top 10 last year, Tetaro McMillan? Absolutely not. But this is a 2025 draft, man. And I'd say this, like, my philosophy, if I was a GM, I would keep my head down and you just keep drafting good players every year. It doesn't matter where you're picking, if you're reaching for them, if you're doing this or that. Because at the end of the day, when you look at the rosters down in, the number on your jersey isn't where you were taken in the draft, man. It's like you're just a part of the team now. And I think he's going to be an exciting player for Carolina next year. I think they're just going to throw the ball to him 1,000 times, which they should.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you're drafting this guy for. I mean, they have good players. I'm looking at their offseason right now, and I'm just like, man, there's a lot worse that they could have done, man.
He reminds me of Vincent Jackson. I don't do pro comps very often. He reminds me a lot of Vincent Jackson. I don't know why. That's like the number one name that kind of came to my mind.
Deshaun Wharton.
Jake London, obviously, you'll hear that.
They got rid of Miles Sanders, finally. That's a good move for them because that guy was a bum. They released Shaq Thompson, get him out of there. Dane Jackson, get them out. They're getting all new blood here. I really like what they've done, man. This is going to be a really good season for the Carolina Panthers, especially when they play at home. They're now going to have some pieces.
They play in a horrible division, too.
They're playing a terrible division. You know what I mean? You can't tell me that they can't win maybe 8 games this year. If Bryce Young goes into this season looking like he did at the end of last season, they're going to be in good shape. I mean, T-Mac is a contested catch monster.
Yeah, that's a specialty.
You know what I mean? He's put up like 3,400, 3,500 all-purpose yards, man. It's a good player. And to me, it was chalk for him being the number one wide receiver going off the board. This is a weak wide receiver class. You might not see another. You might not see another wide receiver here for a while. Yeah, it's been pretty rough, man. So I like this move. New Orleans up next, man. This is where I thought Shedeur Sanders could go.
Yeah,
if Shedeur Sanders does not go here, he is going to fall.
His pro comp is Derek Carr to a lot of people. Why not?
Well,
this is where the free fall starts for Shedeur.
This is where the free fall starts for Shedeur Sanders if he doesn't get picked here. Okay, I can easily see it happening. I think it might be Kelvin Banks Jr. I like him a lot. I mean, they got to protect whoever's back there.
Here, to be honest with you, the Saints love defense. I could see Will Johnson here. You can go pretty wacky here. I don't know. It says the pick is in. I guess
pick's in. Yeah.
I don't know if they go defensive here. This is when you're reaching. I think every player that you're taking here is a reach. And that's just
Derek Carr's shoulder is roast beef. I think he's holding the team hostage. That's what I'm saying.
Like, if you're the Saints, like, get excited.
You have to get a quarterback. I kind of feel like he's holding the team hostage. What I really think happened is that he asked for a trade and they said no, and now he's just holding the team hostage. I mean, you cannot go into this season.
Do they reach at wide receiver just because they have an offensive-minded head coach here?
Oh, God, dude. I think you have to take a lineman or you have to take a quarterback here. I mean, Derek Carr only had 15 touchdowns last year.
Offensive linemen are kind of like shaky at this point. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of questions there for you, but I guess it really wouldn't be in a way too. All right, let's see. This is kind of exciting. The Saints select Kelvin Banks Jr. Yeah,
I called it.
Called that one.
I called it.
I like Kelvin
Let's
Banks.
go, bro.
I will say that. Wow.
2 for 2.
Big athletic dude.
I told you,
imposing on tape. Yeah,
there's going to be a run.
Speed rushers.
There's going to be a run on tackles here. Kansas City is in trouble. Let me tell you something. Chiefs, Brett Veach, if you're listening, you guys better trade up here, man.
Trouble, man.
You're in trouble. There's not going to be a lot of tackles by the time you get to 31. There's not. You better hope Josh Simmons falls because people are scared. Because all these guys told you there's going to be a run on these. I'm telling you, guys, remember what they saw last. And if you cannot protect your quarterback, Shedeur Sanders is going to fall, man. No one wants him here. Where's he going, Spencer?
The Steelers?
I don't think the Steelers like him. I read some. I
yeah,
did some
I mean,
recon.
he doesn't really seem like a Pittsburgh guy. I'll be honest with you. Yeah,
I did some recon on Pittsburgh, and they said they didn't really like him. Shedeur Sanders could be this year's Will Levis, this year's Aaron Rodgers, where you're just sitting there
early
and
in the second round.
and waiting, and then finally
that's why
someone takes you out
didn't
of
go to the draft. So
that's why. Kelvin Banks Jr. This is a solid pick. I like this guy a lot. This is somebody I've been looking at. He held Texas down in a big way. I mean,
this tells you everything you need to know about Shedeur Sanders. It wasn't just noise before the draft that teams didn't like him, obviously.
Yeah,
and I do think that his interviews tanked his stock value.
They really did, man. There's just too much ego.
I know there are reports about it, and you don't know which one's true and what's not. But obviously, there were enough of those reports where now I believe it. Because in my opinion, he's like quite literally Brock Purdy as a prospect. And if you put Brock Purdy in this draft this year, he's going top 10, right? I mean, kind of a little straightforward, at least in my opinion, from that standpoint.
I think so. I mean, Banks is an elite. He's an elite pass blocker, man. He might be the best pass blocker in
really good in space too,
draft.
By the way,
in this draft, he only allowed 4 total pressures. 4. Yeah. I mean, and the length. This is a great pick.
Dude. Yeah,
let me tell you, so far the really bad NFL teams have done amazing jobs.
I think that everyone's looking and seeing like how the Kansas City Chiefs are being. I think you're right about this.
I'm telling you, man. Recency bias has people
like everyone is always trying to outsmart each other in the top 10. Yep. And teams are like, "What's stupid? Nope. Why are we trying to outsmart each other?"
Listen,
no more Michael Williams in the top of the draft. No more Jalen Walkers. No more of that. You know, we see that all the time. We've seen that so much recently, and you don't see it at all anymore.
This is where I think Mike Green goes to
Bears
Chicago.
Came in quick, man.
I think they probably just knew who their guy was. And I think
they knew exactly who they wanted.
I think Mike Green goes.
I wonder who was trying to trade up in the draft then. That really makes me look.
Well, once AJ went, that screwed up everyone's plans. Denver,
I think
Chicago.
You're right, actually. I think all like that report.
All
about
those guys wanted
Carolina. They're like, okay, the Raiders aren't going to take Genty, right? So now we're going to start bidding war. And Raiders like, nope,
because Carolina's not going to take AJ.
No,
the Jets aren't going to take AJ.
But everyone was like, put their offers in for Genty, and then he ain't there.
Everyone remembers the Chiefs, like Andy Reid, offensive guru, 5 Super Bowls in 7 years or 6 years, getting destroyed. They are not letting these offensive tackles sit here. They're just not doing it, man. They are gobbling these guys up. The best thing the Chiefs can hope for right now is that someone will do business with them.
Tyler Booker is going to be available for them. I'm a big fan of Tyler Booker.
I like T Book. He would be good. They need an Armand member.
The Chiefs is that they need everything. The Chiefs need everything on the offensive line. So a good one
line help.
Them.
They need running
Connor
back
Lee
help.
could fall to them too. I
like the Oregon product. I like Josh Connolly. I like him. I could see.
There are options still available for them. I could see Mike Green here. They kind of seem
Mike Green is the pick here.
They like those speed rushers.
They haven't had a speed edge rusher since they got rid of what's the name?
Khalil Mack.
They need this guy.
I still kind of feel like the Bears are the losers of this draft, if I'm being honest with you, because I feel like they wanted all these guys.
They wanted AJ bad.
Yeah, I think they did.
They wanted to get rid of. They don't like Swift.
I think the Jaguars screwed them over by in the sense of like I think they wanted to trade ahead of the Raiders to take him, and the Jaguars like we got different plans, buddy. You can call Cleveland if you really want. Yeah, we'll have to see who gets taken here. This is pretty. Yeah, this is pretty exciting because now you don't really know who's going to be taken really at all.
Yeah, this one is one where you just like it could go any.
I know they have a good tight end, I guess.
I could see Tyler Warren going here. Yeah. I could see Tyler Warren go here. I mean, Cole Kmet is
I mean, you have Cole Kmet's there, but you have
Colston Loveland. But I do think
that a wide receiver. I think they'd like to take a wide receiver. There's just no one here that
no one here for them to take. They need a guy to go get the quarterback because they have a decent defense. Mike Green is the pick here, Spencer. I'd be surprised if it's not. Mike Green is so slept on in this year's draft. It's disgusting.
No, he's one of my favorite, especially because you're talking about
is a monster.
All the other edge rushers that are taken after this are potential guys, and I do not like taking potential edge rushers.
I want a solid
Williams guy and everyone else. These are guys who have the talent, but they don't have it. This guy was productive in college too.
Yeah, Mike Green.
He's the one guy on your list that it's like, okay, I'm plugging this guy in and I'm ready to go.
Yeah, he got active.
That's what I do like about him.
Big time.
Cornerbacks, I think, are going to start taking soon too because they're really talented. And I think you saw last year that like they fell too much, and I think teams are going to be on top of that.
Well, you saw what happened with the Eagles and the Lions.
I know, seriously, that's what I'm saying. Like
there's no way that those guys.
The Eagles are crazy, man. I you know it's going to happen. Watch Will Johnson or something stupid fall down to the Eagles.
For real.
You know?
There's just no way that they should find those guys day 2, and they just do every year, man.
Quinyon Mitchell should have never.
Quinyon Mitchell falling to the Eagles is ridiculous. You know,
that was upsetting.
Come on, Bears.
They really hammed up this 10th pick, dude. Come on, Colston Loveland. That was one of your bets. You like him being
I like
first
Colston.
tight end.
He was my best bet hit there.
All right. So I can see that too because I'm lower on Tyler Warren than everyone else was in the pre-draft.
Tyler Warren's going to go to Indianapolis. That's the perfect place for him to go. They haven't had a decent tight end since Dallas Clark. I like this pick.
Make it break it year for their quarterback too.
Colston Loveland is a beast, bro.
And more of an offensive-minded tight end.
Yeah, and it just goes to show you that they're done with the tight end room that they have. Yeah, they're just done. Those guys just haven't produced. They just haven't produced. Big guy, strong, mob scene all season with Michigan. Mobbing. 6'5", 208, smooth like butter, rangy. Think Mark Andrews and Travis Kelce had a baby. It's Colston Loveland. You know
Trey McBride type of dude.
Yeah.
Reliable hands, good hands. Radius.
Can go up and get it.
Acceleration.
I watch. Very good. This is a good player. I didn't think they would take a tight end, but I thought Mike Green would go. Mike Green's going to fall to someone good here.
When you think about him, and then you think about the Lions and Sam Laporta, I see a lot of Sam Laporta in him too. Actually, so you know, when you have a new head coach, you want him to bring in your guys, right? You know, so I think that makes sense for sure.
Boy, the Niners are on the clock. Who do the Niners take?
Amari and Hampton? Is this where Amari and Hampton gets taken? No,
maybe.
I guess
it's kind of early. I mean, CMC, they're going to ride
trade back.
Dead. Trade back. They need help on the line. Dude, Trent Williams ain't going to be there forever.
But their problem is that they lost out
Trent
on the
Williams is
offensive
40
in here. You know what I mean?
Trent Williams is 40, bro. They don't need wide receiver help. They got Pearsall here. I know they lost Debo. They still got Ayuk. They still got Kittle. They still got McCaffrey. They need defensive help. They need a cornerback. You know what I mean? They just lost Ward.
You know what? You're right. I think this is
Ward's gone.
Cornerback is taken.
They need a cornerback.
I think it could be Jahdae Barrett here.
Could be.
I could see that.
I mean, there's a lot of this. I mean, there's still so much talent. You know what I mean?
Shoot, this is where Mike Green could be taken.
Mike Green.
I think the Cowboys want to take Amari. Okay. The pick
Amari and Hampton to the Cowboys.
I could actually really see.
I think the Cowboys might trade with the Jets and get Breece Hall.
Jalen Walker, maybe for the 49ers.
Jalen Walker.
But I think this is where Will Johnson gets taken. They do need help in the secondary. I mean, they get carved up like Thanksgiving turkeys every year. Yeah. I mean, it has been their downfall. They
just lost Shavarius Ward. They lost a lot of people. Dude, the Niners are in trouble defensively.
You know, they do need something in the secondary. This is going to be a defensive player. If they didn't take a secondary player.
Malachi Starks jumps up here. Dude, Malachi Starks on the Niners would be lit. That would be lit, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, I know that the safety is an undervalued position, but I don't know. At the same time,
it's early, but
it's really not that. There's not a superstar that early talent. You know, there's not.
Yeah. There's still a lot of talent, man.
Yeah, I think this is where you see Jalen Walker fall and fall and fall and fall.
Shedeur Sanders is going tomorrow, bro. He's going tomorrow.
Unless teams get nervous that the Steelers are interested, but I think a lot of teams are going to read that the Steelers wouldn't be interested in that kind of guy. I could see a trade back in for Jackson Dart more than I could see it for Shedeur Sanders, to be honest with you.
I could see it too. Yeah. I could see it.
Who do the Cowboys take? Do they just take Amari and Hampton?
They might take Hampton, bro. They might take Hampton. I mean, I could totally see it. There's so much talent still.
I'm looking at my big board now. I'm going down the list
because
now it gets a little hard because.
Well, I told you this is not. It's a weak draft. It's a weak draft. I mean, there's not too many that I could see are going to be slam dunks here.
Let's see.
I mean, the Dallas Cowboys need so much help. So much help. The Niners need so much help on D. What's Miami going to do? The next 3 picks, they're all question marks.
Miami has to take a secondary player.
They have to take a secondary player. They're looking to get rid of what's the name too? Jalen Ramsey too.
Yeah.
They're going to Jalen Ramsey may not survive this draft.
They want Jahdae Barron. One of those guys are not leaving these next 3 picks. I'll tell you that right now.
I could see it. I could see that. I mean, if you just go BPA, it's going to get tricky. Because
Kenneth, do you just go if you're the 49ers, do you just go into the trenches and you go from Michigan? What's his name?
They don't need a tight end.
Yeah, Kenneth Grant. I can't remember his last name. Kenneth Grant. I could see that because he's one of my favorite players in the draft. Good defensive tackle.
Yeah.
Kind of seems like a 49ers kind of guy.
They might take Walker, man. Jalen Walker's really good to be. I mean,
I don't know. You're bigger on him than I am.
I think I like him a lot. I mean,
I feel like he's one of those guys who are kind of decent at everything, but not
one thing. They're about to pay Michael Parsons. They're gonna give him a blank check. I don't know. Michael Williams. I like that.
I don't like Michael Williams. You know, I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a fan of these Georgia guys who are uber talented.
You know what, man?
But it
could be Mike Green. It could be Mike Green.
It could be if they want to go edge. I think that's the
could
consensus
be Mike Green,
there.
Dude. You know what I mean? Totally,
he was such a beast in college, man.
He was absolute mammoth. It could be Mike Green. I like Mike Green at Dallas. I like Mike Green to Miami. I don't think he's.
I think the 49ers want to take an offensive lineman here. I just don't. There's just no one there for them to take. You know. It would be a massive reach. I know a lot of people are really high in Walter Nolan. I'm not a big fan of Walter.
I'm not.
He's like testing high on PFF and stuff. I'm like, I think he's a late first.
You know what I saw? Actually, I saw this week a piece about the Dallas Cowboys and how Jerry was saying that they're going for impact players. This is where the Dallas Cowboys take Matthew Golden. He's a head case.
I could see that too.
You give CD some help. You give Ferguson some help. It hasn't worked out. The number 2 wide receiver has not worked out in Dallas in years. You know, it doesn't matter who it's been. It just
Golden's a good wide receiver too. I think that's a smart pick from you. Although I just think Jerry's going to want to go running back because everyone
they need it bad. Marion Hampton's going to be
a reactionary guy, you know, Jerry, because he sucks.
Well, it's a area of need, but the thing is that they bring in Javonte Williams, they bring in that other bum from Carolina. They just have a whole bunch of bums. Are you going to now bring a rookie?
The Cowboys are bums, man.
The Cowboys suck, dude. And I feel I'm not,
bums, man.
I'm here for it, man. Forget the Cowboys. The Cowboys stink. You know why? Because Jerry doesn't know his place. Owners own, GMs GM, managers manage, and
he's
players
a reactionist.
Play. Stay out of the locker room, bro. The Dallas Cowboys are not going to be good again until Jerry Jones is dead. I hate to even say that, but it's just true, man.
Wow.
His pick is in for the Niners.
Michael Williams.
I am nailing this draft. I am nailing this draft. I am absolutely nailing this draft right now.
Oh, it's got grills. That's awesome. I grew up in the grills era. I think they're still cool. Oh, I thought he did. He's played almost everywhere defensively. When you read the stat sheet or the scouting report for a Georgia defensive lineman, they all start out the same. Has played almost everywhere defensively. Super active with his hands. Rush. He uses his size for his leverage. I like his IQ. I don't know, man. He's one of those guys that doesn't have a good bag. You know, I hate defensive edges who don't have deep bags. Like these guys who depend on power and active hands in college, that can only get you so far in the NFL. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but here's the deal, Spencer. Once they brought Robert Saleh back, you knew that this is where they were going to go. And I'm telling you, that's a very slept-on, underrated hire. He should have never been let go to begin with because he's not a HC. He's a DC. I know he got a raw deal with the Jets, but let's be honest. If Robert Saleh doesn't run into Patrick Mahomes, there's rings. There's rings. It took a 3rd and 15 completion to Tyreek Hill to bury Robert Saleh. And so he's going to now rebuild this defense. Dude, this is a good pick. I don't care how you cut it. The defensive line has to be the round 1 target for the 49ers. Look, he's tailor-made to play that 4-3 defensive scheme. And now opposite Nick Bosa, and he can even play D-end. This is a great pick for San Francisco. San Francisco's realizing that defense wins championships. Yes, we took our best shot. We whiffed. Sometimes you just run into a GOAT. You know what I mean? The Knicks, they ran into Michael Jordan. Patrick Ewing should have rings. The Utah Jazz, they ran into Michael Jordan. Sometimes you just run into a GOAT. The Niners, they ran into Patrick Mahomes. So here comes the Dallas Cowboys. This is where things are starting to move quickly. Okay, yeah. I think the Dallas Cowboys had their mindset on Omari and Hampton. I just can't see them.
Feel like they did too.
Let's see what they do here. You know, I could see a number of different people, but they really need help.
I could see the wide receiver too. I could easily see that too.
They need help. Matthew Golden would be a reach for me, but I can understand it. I think Dallas is one of those teams where everyone thinks their defense is better than it is because they have all these guys that are getting pick sixes and they're doing all this stuff in the secondary. But beef wins, man. I mean, you saw it in the Super Bowl. I know Jerry Jones was watching the same Super Bowl that I was watching my team get blown up in.
Wow, Tyler Booker.
I like that.
I mean, he's good. I think he's.
It's a reach.
So I think
it's a reach.
I think it's a reach too. Actually,
it's a reach.
This guy can't play zone. He can't play zone.
That's a bad pick.
That's rough, dude.
Reach.
I do not want to take an offensive lineman in the first round if he cannot play his own blocking scheme. I'm sorry.
Let me explain something to you guys.
He runs like he's got cement on his feet.
Okay. And you guys have to hear me. And I already said it, but I'm going to say it again because it bears mentioning because I got a lot of Dallas Cowboy friends in my World of Matchups chat. Look, you will not be good ever again until Jerry Jones is not part of the war room in Dallas. That is such a horrific pick there when you consider the amount of talent that is still available. Derek Harmon, James Pierce Jr., Walter Nolan, I would have taken over this guard. Mike Green. How is Mike Green fall? If Mike Green ends up on the Philadelphia Eagles, I'm done with this show. Dude, I'm done. I'm telling you right now, I'm done with this show. Okay? Omari and Hampton, you need this. You need these positions filled. What are you doing? What are you doing? This is a horrible pick. This is the first pick that I don't like. I mean, you did say it earlier that there are no reaches. Like, if you like the guy, go get the guy.
It's not like a disgusting reach, but in the sense of like, this is a reach for the Cowboys.
It's a reach for the Cowboys.
Were they desperately in desperate need of a guard in this year's draft? I don't think so.
Tyler Booker,
there are more important positions in the guard position. Like, okay, if you're the Texans, dude, the Chiefs are.
Travion Henderson.
Horrible position right now.
The Chiefs are in trouble. Chiefs need to trade up. I've been saying
the team that's in the most trouble right now by far is the Texans. The Texans, I think they just lost their mind.
I don't know if the Chiefs are in as much trouble. Let's give this another 40 minutes and see how the board falls. Because Jonathan Simmons is still there.
Yeah,
Connerly is still there.
One of those guys is not getting past the Texans. I'll tell you that right now because they don't have any offensive linemen on their team. There's a couple left. You
know what I mean? There's a couple left that it's possible that these guys get overlooked. I don't think that will be the case, and I think the Chiefs will be forced to take a different position. But I really cannot believe they just took Tyler Booker. Wow. Dude, that's wild. I have him all the way down my board. That's crazy. that's Dallas for you.
Oh, can you hear me now? Sorry.
Yep, you're on.
I was saying, I was pulling up my mock draft. I was saying, I had Tyler Booker at 31st going to the Chiefs. So that tells you a lot about
31.
How far up.
That is absolutely brutal, man. I got 3 friends in my World of Matchups chat. They're all on suicide watch right now. And look, guys, don't get me wrong, because Tyler Booker's a good player. We're not saying he's not a good player.
Yeah, not
okay.
Yeah.
So don't hear us out for where he was picked.
Well, like what, to support the run game of Javonte Williams this year is what you're doing?
Javonte Williams is damaged goods. Miles Sanders is an absolute bum. All you have is CeeDee Lamb.
Who is wide receiver 2 for the Dallas Cowboys?
This is what I'm saying. The last guy they had went back to New Orleans. I forgot his name, the short dude. And then there was another guy they had who's...
We're struggling to even think of their names. They had one guy go to the Raiders last year and he retired at camp. And now he came back again.
You know who the number 2 wide receiver is? It's going to be Jake Ferguson. Jake Ferguson to the moon this year.
Wow.
Horrendous. I mean,
that's not the place you want to be in because they're picking pretty deep in the second round, obviously. And those guys who are kind of there's a few wide receivers that I like going, but they're going to go early second round. They're not going to fall to them. These garbage teams that are picked at the top, like the Jaguars and the Raiders, they're going to want to go after these wide receivers that slip into the second round.
Yeah.
The Cowboys are going to have to trade up to get a second round wide receiver.
I'm not mad about it though. You know what I mean? This is what I need as a Chiefs fan. This is what I need.
Cowboys,
you know what I mean? This is what I need. This is what the Philadelphia GM is. They were just like, yeah, take these guys. You know what I mean? Let them fall. Get these guys off the board. Eventually, there's going to be a
This is the kind of pick that the Raiders made.
Watch Malachi Starks go to Philadelphia.
That's what I'm saying, man.
I would be so upset. I'll kill myself, bro. Watch Malachi.
That is something that would happen, though. I would even worry, man. I'm big on both the safeties in this year's draft. I think they're both menaces, and I think they're going to make teams a lot better. Jalen Walker continues to fall, by the way. I think this is one of the bigger stories. Him and Tyler Warren, I would say so far, are the guys who are falling further than I think anybody ever thought they would. Like everyone had Tyler Warren kind of going top 10.
He's going to go. I think he's going to go to Indianapolis. It's just a perfect place for him.
Yeah, because you have a quarterback here. You're not sure is going to be your franchise guy. So
you need a tight end.
You need to help him. You need help. Because you don't want to draft a defensive guy if you're the Colts, and then now still have this question, at quarterback. Like if you give him a weapon and he still sucks, at least you know the answer, right? It sucks to move on from the 4th overall pick, whatever. But you got to do it, and you got to know for sure. You want to give your guy a shot.
Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman Jr. can't do this enough. I mean, Alec Pierce is just a deep threat. They don't really know what they have in AR5, and we know what Daniel Jones is. The Colts are just one of those teams, man. This would be a groundbreaking move for them to get.
Well, they have another team with a terrible owner.
Terrible owner. Ursay. NFL Network. You guys are sucking tonight, man. Streaming. Paying for this, and you guys keep lagging.
I'm on YouTube TV.
You're on YouTube TV? I canceled mine. Yeah. You guys are getting too much money for me. I'll come back. Maybe I'll come back. I'll wait this year until they give me a deal. Yeah, I love it too much, too. It's really the best thing ever. So, horrible pick. Absolutely horrible pick.
I believe you're going to go secondary here. It's whether I think it's like I have Will Johnson being one of the best players in the draft. So
yeah,
Will Johnson. I don't think this injury is not enough to deter me at all.
It's just so bad, man. I just cannot believe that's who they took. That's wild to me. That's hard.
Brian said horrible pick. Dallas should have taken Matthew Golden. We're the best wide receiver available. Yeah. Jerry Jones should not have an input, and he eats a diaper in a straw.
Yeah, it's
Rob the Raider. He said Booker T would have been a better Booker at that point.
I'd take Booker T Washington over. It's bad when you consider the needs that the Dallas Cowboys have. Taking him that's bad. That's bad. Absolutely horrible.
Wow. Pick is in. for them. It's Kenneth Grant. Kenneth Grant, I believe, is the pick for the Dolphins. I'm not mad. I mean, I don't really care the Dolphins take, but if I'm the Dolphins, though, I don't feel like that was the guy who they really needed to take. I know they're getting a productive player. And like I said, Kenneth Grant is one of my favorite players in the draft. My biggest note on him is that he's a better player than a lot of these project edge guys, but the draft has already shown that the NFL is like on that. They know that these guys are project guys, and that's why they're slipping. It doesn't have the best processing, and to the point where he can find himself out of place in position a lot of the times, because he just like blows up the kind of the middle, and then he's like lost. But he's a guy who can collapse a pocket. But it's like, I don't know, if you're the Dolphins and you let what's his name, walk to the Raiders, and then you just like draft his replacement. It's like you're taking one step forward and 2 steps back for me, to be honest with you.
I see that as being reach number 2 of the draft.
Yeah, really? He's not a big fan.
I'm not. I mean, I understand that the Miami Dolphins need help on defense. They always do. Yeah. That's just
there are
who
better
they
places
are.
They could have gotten help.
Mike Green. You know what I mean? Like, what is it about Mike Green that people are souring on here? I just don't understand.
I think it's the small school is what people are souring on the most.
Yeah, you know who else went to Marshall? Randy Moss. I want to see what the player is. And when I look at the eye test of Mike Green, to me, I would have taken him over Kenneth Grant here. Good player. He's a power rusher. We know this. But is the form there? I don't know. To me, that's almost as bad as Booker. Almost.
Yeah, he's just one of those guys who gets back there and then he's like, all right. And he's like kind of like got stone on his feet, and like you'll blow it up, and then a guy like Ashton Genty will like juke him out of his shoes, So I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of that pick either, but
that's okay. Just keep picking these guys.
Miami does not have the best.
Keep picking these guys. There's going to be good talent there for some of the better teams like Kansas City. That literally, this is the most important draft in the history of Mahomes' life. This will determine the rest of his
Chiefs
career.
Are in trouble, dude.
They're in trouble, man. They better get a good player here. They need to have like a 2022 draft where it's like Karlaftis, McDuffie. They got to hit on like 4 out of 7 of their picks, or else, because we already saw the Raiders got better today. A lot of guys left KC who are on their 1-year deals now that they got rings. You know what I mean? I mean, Turk Wharton went to Carolina and got paid like he's freaking Myles Garrett. I mean, it happens. Guys want their bread, dude.
That's how
Especially if you already got a ring. I can't fault, and I'll never fault anyone for getting their money. The pick is in. This is going to be Tyler Warren.
I really think so.
If they don't take Tyler Warren here, I'll be absolutely shocked, Spencer.
Yeah, it's Tyler Warren.
Boy,
no shocker there.
I'm on fire. I am on fire. Your boy knows ball. Y'all can say what y'all want about me. Your boy knows ball.
I thought this is where Colston might go, but it ended up being flipped, basically.
It makes perfect sense. They have not had a tight end of note since Dallas Clark. They just
for long. I mean, just forever. It's just been
Eric
guy after guy.
Ebron. I mean, it's been a long, long time. And Tyler
Eric
Warren
Ebron is only a thing because of Andrew Luck.
Exactly. I love Tyler Warren. I love him a lot more than most people. This guy gets it done. I watched him play in the Oregon game. The guy was unguardable as a tight end. Oregon was lucky to win that game. Literally, if
no
there was
more
another
excuses.
Nope. There was another 2 minutes in that game. The Penn State Nittany Lions would have came back and won that game. I like Warren. He is kind of like Lurch out there. He's not smooth like Colston Loveland. You know what I mean? He's kind of banging around out there, but the guy's got soft hands. He can jump, and he can catch touchdowns and run away from people, even at that size. He is a monster. 153 receptions, almost 2,000 all-purpose yards, and he's a second-team All-American. Nittany Lions stand up. This is a great pick for the Colts. Now we're back on track with teams picking for need. Dallas, take notes. Miami, take notes. This is how you pick a player in the first round for your team. You need this. You get this. Wonderful job. This is an A+ pick for Indianapolis Colts. I smell this months ago.
Yeah, he's kind of like a do-it-all kind of tight end. He also actually lined up everywhere on the field. Doesn't really have a route tree though. Like he was always like a design thing for him. So I think that's what you worry about. Like I said,
he's Lurch.
Yeah,
he's Lurch. He's Lurch, but he catches everything thrown his way, and he doesn't get hurt a ton. And he plays.
That's the other thing. He was very dependable. He can block, right?
Durable.
He's kind of He
can play a lot of snaps too, man, and that's what they're gonna need. Whether it's AR5 or Daniel Jones, Jonathan Taylor, Pittman, Alec Pierce. Now they have someone that can help because Alec Pierce is just nothing but a pull and pray deep ball guy.
Now they have a three-headed monster, on the
you got someone that can go over the middle. You know what I mean? Their defense is always solid. Defense is always good in Indianapolis. That's one thing.
I think this is where Jalen Walker goes in Atlanta. That's my.
I could see it.
Block. Georgia, Atlanta, House.
Or I think it could be James Pierce Jr.
I could see that too. Or
the Falcons really haven't had the Falcons notoriously have been devoid of a guy to go get the quarterback.
Jalen Walker can kind of do that for them, though. You know what I mean? Like he's kind of.
It's been a long time since they've. Who was the last guy that they had that was that guy? Where quarterbacks were fearing this year, he's coming, got to double that guy. Who is the guy in Atlanta? They haven't had that guy
never. Their last 15 sack player was Vic Beasley. He was playing in the XFL last.
I could see this being James Pierce Jr. I like him a lot there, or Mike Green. I'm going to take an edge here in Atlanta. I'm going to take a shot on the edge here in Atlanta.
I think it's James Pierce. I like James Pierce. I'm actually higher. He was on my top 10 prospects. So
Rob the Raiders says it's going to be Jalen Walker. I think it's going to be James Pierce.
It's going to be some guy who's going to get out to the quarterback. So they have three options. So they're going to have to decide who that is, I suppose.
I mean, Atlanta needs help everywhere on defense. Offense is not the problem.
But they need somewhere in the trenches kind of guy, even if it is like a outside linebacker position. Or
I just see them, when I think about them, I'm just like, okay, who's the defender that teams are afraid of?
Their secondary is good, which is like the tragic part about the Falcons.
Secondary is great.
They just can't stick to guys because it's impossible. Like the quarterback has all the time in the world, and that's why they get shredded in these games.
Shredded. They don't have they need beef.
They try, but they always try to do it through free agency, and the guy who they picked up last year sucked. So
they need beef. This is where I think a player like James Pierce would be really, really good. Mike Green, you know what I mean? Like one of those guys would be really, really good here. We'll see what they do here. We're coming out of commercial break. To this point, who's winning the draft? I think it's Cleveland. I think the
Raiders obviously got into a really good spot here. I don't know. I mean, I think everyone in the top 10 was kind of the winners, to be honest with you. I think they made some really smart decisions.
Yeah. I like what the Browns did. They actually did something that made sense. So did the Giants. I don't think those two teams are done. That's the thing. I don't think they're done.
Oh.
I think Jackson Dart to the Giants makes some sense here.
Trades. I really think you're going to see some trades at the end of the first round.
We've gone a bunch of picks here with no trades, which is a little surprising. I thought that there would be some more trades.
Well, I think once you're in this place, I think guys are like, there's no one really worth trading up for anymore, in my opinion. So it's kind of like, I think these teams are like, all right, let's just see who falls to us. But I think these teams that are early picking in the second are going to have a little bit of a discount trading up. And I think there's going to be teams that are very interested in doing that. I'm trying to see, like, it's Nick Scorton, I guess, like... Yeah, there's still, there are still some offensive linemen out there too. If you are, like,
don't be surprised if Atlanta takes Matthew Golden to go alongside Drake London. They already, I mean, they got
a lot of production out of what's his name last year.
Their number 2 wide receiver did show some flashes for sure. Who was the guy's name? I can't remember. They brought him over.
I remember had him in fantasy, and he was like really good. Let's see.
Even a guy like Shamar Stewart on Atlanta.
Darnell Mooney
had a nice year for them. Yeah, he did. He did.
He
really did. Yeah.
They need help. when it comes to the pass.
They need help on D, man.
What are they trading here? I mean, they're gonna take a pick at some point here.
They're taking the whole.
Isn't in yet.
They're taking a whole 10 minutes.
They could be getting calls. The Broncos have talked about a lot about trading up. So
yeah, Arthur Blank's another one of those guys that's always involved in the process. I mean, I get it. You're the owner. Like, get out of the war room, dude. Sign the check. I don't need you all up in the process, man. You hired the GM to be the GM. I mean, the Dirty Birds haven't been anything on defense since they went to the Super Bowl. It's been a long, long time, man. They really need some beef here. I would love to see them get some help on defense. James Pierce Jr. to me is the pick here.
Yeah.
Him or Mike Green.
Crazy.
I'm stamping my flag with one of those two players.
It's crazy to me how undervalued the corner position is in the NFL. Like,
well, these teams don't need them right now. And then what happens is teams like Philadelphia all of a sudden end up picking these guys, and then the whole rest
they end
of
up
the
winning
NFL
Super Bowls for them. That's the thing.
You know what I mean? That's
it's so frustrating when you see it. All thanks to teams like the Cowboys, and they make their dumb, stupid decisions every year. It's the only reason these kinds of things happen.
It's crazy. Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter.
Yeah, all these guys, man.
All these guys had no business being on Philadelphia.
You can say the same thing about the Chiefs and the guys who they have taken, when it comes to the secondary.
Yep.
It's game changers.
I mean, look at McDuffie. The Chiefs are going to have to trade McDuffie because they're not going to pay. They're not going to be able to pay him what he's asking for.
Well, they just did the same thing with the Titans. They traded what's his name to the Titans.
You know what I mean? McDuffie is going to command big money because he's a shutdown corner.
He's literally like the best corner in the league.
He's a lockdown corner, man. McDuffie gets slept on every week. He takes the best receiver on the other team. And he's going to be able to move back into the slot this year, man.
What, do the Falcons lose this guy's number or something?
I'm saying, come on, Atlanta. My goodness.
This is terrible.
They have to be fielding calls for them to be taking this long. I think they were.
Maybe it fell through and they had to pick somebody. That's my only guess.
I mean, we're 2 hours in. It's pick 15. Come on already.
That's so
sick.
My
goodness, dude.
That is so sick, man. All right, come on, Goodell. Let's get this ball. They were going so well in the beginning, I feel like, and it kind of fell apart pretty quick.
They have to be fielding calls for the pick. This is where teams like Kansas City are calling.
Oh, I was right. My initial intuition was correct on this one. It's Jalen Walker.
Jalen Walker, yeah.
That was
Rob, shout out you and Rob the Raider. You guys both call this.
That was my gut feeling.
Good pick.
Keep it in house. Keep him in state. He's a pass rusher. I think if he wants to be really effective in the NFL, though, he's going to have to play the middle linebacker position.
He's hybrid. He was the best player available on my board, actually. Man. I don't know why I didn't like him. I don't know. He's got short arms for an edge. He gets in there, though, man. And he can stack tight ends up.
I don't like the idea of him playing full-time at that position at the edge, though.
He's a downhill run defender.
I think he can become a Roquan Smith, kind of guy.
He kind of reminds me of a poor man's Harold Landry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's kind of what he reminds me of. He could thrive in Atlanta's system. I could see it. He's a disruptor. But he has
good game sense. That also, I think he has
not a go. He's not a go get the ball, go get the quarterback guy. He's not that guy.
I think when you think about the Cardinals picking up next, I think they need to go secondary. They have been missing it since Patrick Peterson for so many years now. And I think that if you want to go with a flashy corner position, I think you go Barron.
They're getting Barron.
Because he is a flashy guy, and he's like kind of all over the place.
Yep.
Yeah, I think he fits them very well.
They're getting Barron or Harrison. I like corner to Arizona. We're both thinking alike.
They need one. Their secondary is terrible.
Or you know who else I like for them? I like Derek Harmon. I like the Oregon product going there. They need help on defense. So anywhere you're choosing, they're another one of those teams. James Pierce Jr., Mike Green. Who's the guy since J.J. Watt, who you look at on the Arizona Cardinals defense that you're like, okay, guys, make sure you chip that guy. Make
I
sure you
like
double
Harmon,
that guy.
but he kind of has that Kenneth Grant problem where like he'll blow past the line and then he just like has cement on his feet. You know,
And
it's
then
like,
he's
wow,
just,
you won the rep, but it's like,
but then
you
the
don't
guy
finish
ran
it.
right past you.
Yeah, he's not
Yeah.
a finisher, which it's kind of that's his big. That's really his only problem. If he was actually like good at and light on his feet in the backfield, he'd like be in the top 10. That's how talented he is as a player. But yeah, you're right. The Cardinals are one of those teams that it's like kind of a miracle they won as many games as they did.
They win
kind of
games
just stringing
despite
along.
themselves, man. They're another
Yeah.
backdoor cover king team. Every time you bet them versus big spreads, they cover, man. They cover. I think they could take a big step here taking Barron. Barron is the number one pick I would take for them. James Pierce Jr. would be my second choice for them. I don't think you can go wrong with either one.
Yeah, I think they're in a pretty decent position, all things considered. I think they kind of have a spoil of riches here when it comes to the pick.
They're one of two teams without a player with 5 sacks last year. James Pierce Jr. is the pick here, bro. You don't have a guy with 5 sacks in 17 games? Wow. Dude, wow. That's crazy. You know what else is crazy? The amount of money they gave Trey McBride. Guy didn't have a touchdown last year. But that's neither here nor there. This is the Arizona Cardinals we are talking about. He did have 111 receptions and almost 1,200 yards, but this is a touchdown-driven team. You gotta score touchdowns in this league.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. But they really need us a new quarterback, I think, if you're in Arizona. But
I don't know, man. I like Kyler Murray. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to have a bounce back season.
And he didn't have a terrible year, all things considered.
It just didn't live up to the hype.
Yeah.
It just didn't live up to the hype. That's all.
He had some really good moments in his rookie year.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that comes down to Marvin Harrison. I don't know if you blame him for that. I don't know.
So let's take a look at the next 5 picks. Cincinnati, Seattle, Tampa, Denver, Pittsburgh. You can't tell me that any of those teams are taking Shedeur Sanders.
No.
Shedeur Sanders is falling out of the first round.
I think a lot.
I wonder what the odds on that are right now. That's got to be plus money. Someone else. They're thinking.
I don't know. I don't remember. I didn't look.
He might. Yeah, he's a day. He's day 2.
Imagine if the Raiders got. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if the Raiders got him in day 2. To be honest with you.
Yeah, day 2.
If he was just there, you know.
Come on with the pick.
It's so rough, man.
My goodness, dude. You guys talking forever.
This could be a 2.5 hour ordeal if they really wanted it to be.
They're trying to turn this into a 5-hour freaking menage a trois.
They started it late too. It's like
I'm saying.
You're gonna have all
over.
Start this at 3 or something, you know.
I'm saying, come on, let me have it.
I'm just glad I'm not watching Mel Kiper. I'm not a big fan of his.
Nah, he's wrong more than he's right. He's annoying. He's one of those know-it-alls.
It looks like the pick is in. It's Walter Nolan.
Not terrible. I mean, DT. At least they're picking the right side of the ball, Spencer. Okay. And to me, this is still better than Dallas and Miami's pick. I like Walter.
He's got a plus motor, plus run defender.
Look, Ole Miss is a good school, bro. 6'4" Bills. Look, he had 14.5 tackles for loss and 6.5 sacks.
Yeah, he's like a run stuffer kind of guy.
He's just a big dude. He's just a big dude. He's just a big dude, bro. He's a big dude with nimble feet, and he can fight off double teams. He can split defenders. You know what? This is not a bad pick. This is like a B+ pick for Arizona.
This is Malachi Starks right here, man. If you're the Bengals,
yeah,
just be smart, dude. Just take someone in the secondary who's really
help,
good,
man.
I guess they could go Will Johnson here.
I don't understand why it's not like Pierce Jr. or Mike Green. I mean, look. What they're doing,
Mike Green's free falling.
What they're doing to Trey Hendrickson is absolute. It's a crime. It's a crime. Their defense is so absolutely horrific. It's so bad, and they refuse to sign the best player on their team, not named. I don't understand it. I mean, I get Jamar, I get T. You know what? I would have tagged and trade T Higgins. I really would have. and I would have gotten anything I think they're kind of nuts, defense. Man. They're nuts, man. They're nuts. So yeah, Malachi Starks, I could see it, but they also need a guy to get to the quarterback because they're holding Hendrickson hostage.
Is awful.
Defense is horrendous. It's one of the bottom 5 worst in the league. They don't score 50 points. They're not winning. I don't like.
They could score 50 points and still lose. Their team's going to score 51 points.
Facts. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. You're not wrong.
I think Seattle's in a pretty rough spot. I could see them going like Connerly with this pick because I think Connerly played a little bit of center in his time.
They don't. I don't know if they need him.
I think they need offensive line help on the inside.
They still got this. Yeah, their left tackle's solid. I
think they've worked at their bookends a little bit, but I do think they've had troubles at the offensive line. If they think Sam Darnold's going to be what he was last year without line help, they're in a bad spot.
Yeah, they're in a bad spot.
So yeah, we'll have to see. I think Cincinnati's probably pretty happy right now. I mean, a lot of good defensive players here for them.
There's a lot of and you know who else is happy? Kansas City, man. They're gonna get a quality player to help protect Mahomes here.
They will now.
We're gonna bring Rob the Raider back in for some more insight, folks. Let's go 3-box, Spencer.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Welcome back, my dude. It's been a hell of a draft so far. Since we left you at pick 6 in the Raiders, I know you've probably smoked a cigar, had a little Moet Chandon, did what you had to do with wifey. Let's talk about what you're thinking has transpired since then. What are your highlights and lowlights? We already know about your lowlights, but let's hear what you're thinking.
I'm going to have to say that when it comes to the lowlights, obviously it's going to have to be Tyler Booker going to the Cowboys. I don't want to beat a dead horse. One of my best friends is a Cowboys fan, but at a certain point, right guard is not the position you need when, the one you get is a statue. He's a move grader, but he's not good in pass protection when he has to go backwards, so when they're going to give up screens going to the right side, they're also going to have to give up very short bubble passes to the right side as well when you have an immobile guard. In terms of who I think is really just killed it with their pick and it's going to come as a surprise, but I believe that Michael Williams with the 49ers, that's a very sneaky pick because you have to remember who they lost, and they tend to have lost a lot of people left on the defensive side of the ball, and to be able to get a competent day one starter right there should not be ignored at all.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I really like what the Niners did. So far, the draft has not been chalk, but I like what's happened. The 2 picks that really have bothered me, though, are what Dallas did and then what Miami did right after that. I just don't understand, man. There's so much better talent for the need there, and I kind of feel like you're taking a guard at that point. Jerry Jones needs to stay out of the war room. My favorite pick since AJ to the Raiders has been Tyler Warren, man. I mean, Indianapolis had to have this. They need help, man. And they got 2 quarterbacks that get shook the minute the ball gets snapped. What a better thing to help a quarterback like that than to give him a big, strong tight end that can block, chip, and get open and catch and excel with the ball in his hands after the catch than Tyler Warren. I'm higher on Warren than most people. I know a lot of people like Colston Loveland a lot more than him. I think at the end of next season, you're going to have comparable numbers to them both. I think he's a weapon, and I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. And to me, that's an A- pick for the Indianapolis Colts. That and AJ is a slam dunk. Obviously, we went over this. That's an A+ pick for Vegas, and I'm just happy to not see the Raiders Raider for the first time. Who do the Cincinnati Bengals take here, Rob?
If I'm the Cincinnati Bengals, I'm going to book in somebody with Trey Hendrickson. It's the only thing you can really do at this point. So, you're going to have to get James Pierce Jr. involved or, worst case scenario, Will Johnson. It's going to be between those 2 guys. You need some help on defense because you just spent 60% of your budget on the offense on 3 players. So
3 players.
There's no Omarion Hampton that's going to come and take you over that top. But
no.
A Will Johnson or a James Pierce right here is going to be where we need to go for the Bengals.
Spencer, if this is not a defensive player, the Bengals have lost the draft. I'm just gonna lay it out there. I'm spreading it like peanut butter and jelly. You have lost the draft if this is not a defensive player by the Cincinnati Bengals.
It would be complete ignorance from them.
James Pierce Jr. has to be lined up on the other side of Trey Hendrickson. I like him a lot. Mike Green falling, I don't understand. Okay, I understand the small school aspect of it, but ball is ball. When I look at you, can you play? He could play. Now, mind you, the competition's not top tier, but this guy is a wrecking crew every time I watch him.
The Bengals take Jamar Stewart.
I'll take it. At least they got it right. I mean, it's not the greatest of them. Man. Yeah, but at least he fits what they need. They're telling, well, there's one of two things is happening, and it's good or bad. They're telling Hendrickson, bro, we're getting you some help, and we're going to still sign you. Or we're never paying you the money that you're asking for, and this guy is going to replace you. It's one of those two things. Me personally, I would have taken. I don't understand why James Pierce Jr. and Mike Green are falling. If one of those guys end up in Kansas City, I'll be very happy because we need DN help.
One of those like raw traits guy, pure athlete,
6'5", 267.
Yeah, he's like the guy who bounces up the draft because he has crazy measurables, but doesn't have the moves, doesn't have the polish, doesn't have the production. I don't like that. I do not want to draft guys like that.
Poor man's Danielle Hunter. That's his comp. Very poor, like food stamp. He's food stamp Danielle Hunter.
Wick.
He's Wick Danielle Hunter. I like him a little bit more than you do. I mean, his comparables are decent. A&M's a good school. 4.5 sacks in 3 seasons. I mean, 11 tackles for a loss. But then this is the Bengals, though. You know what I mean? This is the Bengals, and this is what they do. I swear, ever since Burrowhead, and this is a fact, ever since they started with that Burrowhead and went to the Super Bowl and lost, the Cincinnati Bengals have puffed their chest around this league like they won the Super Bowl. And they have done absolutely nothing but lose whenever they're supposed to win. Brian Feldman says, I can't believe either one of those guys is still here. Brian, I'm with you. How James Pierce Jr. and Mike Green are still available, it's criminal. When you consider these teams that need defense, either one of those guys on Dallas right now next to Micah Parsons is an A+ pick. You guys cannot talk me off this, dude. If I'm a Cowboy fan, dude, take my shoelaces because this is an absolute abomination. It really is. It really is. Your thoughts on this, guys? Rob the Raider, what do you think about Stu?
I think that there was just better picks or options available. Like if they always say if you can't, if the Bengals are going to score 50 points a game but give up 60, the best way you can limit the amount of points they're going to score is by getting to the quarterback. And so I would have got James Pierce, or I would have got that boy out of Oregon, Derek Harmon, a defensive tackle, growing up the middle too. I mean, the last time we saw the Bengals, trying to struggle getting into the playoffs, the last game of the season, what did they do? They struggled against the run. So, I mean, I think the Bengals are just spinning their tires. They want to sell jerseys. They want to be Madden cover athletes. And, if having a $200 million offensive 3-piece chess piece is going to get you wins or tickets sold, hey, congratulations on the Bengals for selling tickets because that's what they did. But drafting, Stewart, he's not a needle mover, and other than his weight, what else is he moving, right?
If anything happens to one of those big three, their season is over. If Joe Burrow gets hurt, if T. Higgins goes down, or if anything happens to Jamar, because they'll just double the other wide receiver. And I know their backup quarterback is decent, but is he decent enough to move the needle with Chase Brown in this offense and no defense to speak of? I think I like Stewart a little bit more than you guys, but I still think that there were better picks there. Moving forward, on deck, the Seattle Seahawks. I do not see a way that Barron or Harmon is not going to Seattle here, Spencer.
I think they go offensive line big time here, personally.
You do?
I think they're desperate for it. I think they need a lot of help on the line. And I don't think Sam Darnold can survive a season. Geno Smith got killed last year. I mean, that's a well-known fact. They got demolished. And there are still starting caliber. Connerly is there. I think that's probably like Greg Zabel. I could also see that.
It's a Pacific Northwest pick here. You know what I mean? Like they've seen a lot of Oregon, living up there. I could see that. You get this guy. He's young. He's big. He's strong.
The scouting wasn't too
far for that Pacific Northwest area.
I was right. I was right. It's Greg Zabel. I just said his name. It's Greg Zabel.
Wow.
I knew it. I mean, they had to. They really didn't have a choice.
That's a good pick for them. I mean, they absolutely had to do it. They like you said we already know what happens. It just makes me think about Sam Darnold versus the Rams in the playoffs. And the Rams just destroyed him. And he had a nice year behind a very good offensive line in Minnesota. Now he's in Seattle, $100 million man. The line's not that good. Geno Smith took a beating behind that line last year. So this does make sense. I don't really like the school, North Dakota State, but the comparables and measurables are there, 6'5", 312. And you know what got him this pick? He dominated in the Senior Bowl. Sometimes
the teams are just desperate enough too, by the way, especially at the offensive line position.
Well, it just goes to show you that teams aren't sold that Josh Simmons is healthy.
No, yeah, that's a fact so far.
They're not sold. And I'm here to tell you, I'll take him.
They saw their medical reports, so.
Dude, I'll take him. You cannot let Patrick Mahomes run for his life again. I'll take the shot at it. Him or Connolly. And if Connolly falls,
I like Connolly.
I'll take either of those guys. I don't know if he'll last. This is a good pick. It's a bit of a reach for OG, but I just don't like North Dakota State. You know what I mean? But there's no denying that he did dominate, and he started 41 games in 5 seasons at LT. His broad jump is crazy, and he mirrors and redirects well, and he can recover, man. So they're telling you that if a guy gets past him, he's not now down for the count. You know what I mean? He can bounce back. Sometimes he gives up a little bit too much ground. The scouting report is saying that, but his comp is Elgin Jenkins. Look, this at least Seattle is being smart here.
They didn't have a choice.
They didn't have a choice. It's like Kansas City, same thing. Like if Kansas City doesn't take an offensive lineman, left tackle, offensive tackle, guy that they could swing on 4 different positions on the line, it has to only really be because there's no guys left. There's just no other reason. I'm not taking a day 3 offensive lineman when I could have Omari and Hampton. So I get it. You know what I mean? But this is a solid pick for Seattle. Again, I'm not really sold on, NDSU. I mean, isn't that where Carson Wentz went? That's
Trey Lance.
Trey Lance. That's what I was thinking.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, that's like every now and then a sprinkling of one of those guys hits the National Football League, and look, this is a pretty good pick for them, all things considered. It's not great, but you just you have to just protect this quarterback, man. I mean, I look
at it more like the difference between them taking a guard versus the Cowboys taking a guard is the fact that does Dak Prescott get measurably better with just a little bit better guard play, or does Sam Darnold get measurably better when he's not running for his absolute life?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's how you have to look at it. Like if you took away the best guard on the Cowboys right now, Dak Prescott would still be relatively Dak Prescott. The moment you see Sam Darnold with no line, he sees ghosts. We're only 3 years. We're 3 years from him seeing ghosts. Everybody thinks that, that was a long time ago.
It really wasn't that long ago.
That's right. 3 seasons ago, the man saw ghosts. And now we're going to give him a bum line that Geno Smith could outrun. And no one's saying Geno Smith is Michael Vick or, anybody who can slip in the pocket. So we take a less mobile quarterback than Geno Smith and we pay him. You have to take a guard. You have to keep him healthy up the middle. Let him stand in front of, the pass rush, and he can step into his throws. He's not leaving the pocket sideways. He's going straight up in the middle.
He's going straight up in the middle.
That's right. Dak Prescott can run around for his life all he wants. He's mobile.
That's not Sam Darnold.
Not
even a hurt Dak. Boy, Dallas fans are losing their mind. Dallas fans are real, dude. Let me tell you something. Dallas fans have had enough, man. And I'm here for it. They have had enough. Because you know what? There was a time where I thought this team had enough to make it past the first round and actually win a playoff game and make some noise in the playoffs. Those days are over, man. The best thing they could potentially do at this point, I'm not saying trade CeeDee Lamb, but if you don't bolster your defense here, you're going to be in big trouble because Micah Parsons is going to take every dime you guys got. The big winner right now today is Micah Parsons. He can demand whatever he wants, and they're going to have to sign the check.
Yeah, especially because after Myles Garrett too.
Yep.
You know, he's like, I'm very unhappy, and so the only way they kept him around was to overpay him.
And you know the story, man. Unfollow the Cowboy. Stop talking about him on your podcast. You know how it goes, man. The pick is in for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I like Will Johnson.
I like Will Johnson big time
out of Michigan.
They need secondary.
I like Barron here. Either one of those picks would be really, really good for Tampa Bay. I think Tampa has had a nice little resurgence there with Baker Mayfield. They win playoff games. They play hard. They're never out of games. Bucky Irving has been a nice find for them. I like their coach. I like their system. They're the best team in Florida. Nobody can talk me off that. And I think that they create a continued ascension here by solidifying their secondary with either Barron or, Will Johnson. What do you think about that?
I think it's a lock. I think, and they just lost what's his name too. He went to the Lions, I think, either last year or in this offseason. And also, they've been so mediocre at that position. We've talked about the secondary for the Bucs for years and years now. And they're lucking out here. Like I said, I think Will Johnson and Jahdae Barron are both very high quality.
These guys falling this late is crazy. I mean, this is
I think their talent level is well above where they're being picked, which is at 19.
Number one cornerback at pick 19. It's like what
he's
we
really
saw
good.
last year.
I think he can be an all-pro. I really think he can be an all-pro.
We've seen the same thing that happened with Terrion Arnold last year happened this year with Barron and Will Johnson. Who do you like out of the two? Who do you like more if you had to pick one, Rob? I like Barron. I like Barron a little bit more. I know Will Johnson went to a better school.
A little bit more swagger.
You have to give me Will Johnson. I mean, the only knock on Will Johnson is his run game tackling.
Yeah.
You know, he gets trucked. He gets steamrolled. Ohio State, their running back steamrolled him, but Michigan still won because he was able to take away some of that wide receivers, Ibuka and everybody else like that. So, I like. Oh, speaking of Ibuka. He just got picked by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Wow.
That is surprising.
Wow.
That's so random.
I did not see that coming.
That is random.
So let's try to rationalize why. You have your number 2 wide receiver is coming off a brutal injury. But didn't they pay him?
They did.
Didn't they pay him? Now, this signals to me that they have a bunch of good wide receivers. Their names are, you got Mike Evans. Who else is there? Help me out, fellas. Mike Evans is aging. Godwin is coming back off a major injury, but they paid him.
Jalen McMillan.
McMillan had a great year.
Yeah, Sterling Shepard's there too.
Why would you take Ibuka here? What's the rationale? Good. No, he's great.
Good.
No,
he's great.
You have
so many more. See, listen to me.
This is
how players end up on the Philadelphia Eagles. This is how dude, bro. I'm telling you right now, I might have
Malachi Starks is going to go get drafted.
I might have to retire if this happens. If Malachi Starks, Mike Green, Barron, or Will, if any of these players end up on the Eagles, dude, I'm done. I'm done. I just can't. I can't do this every year, man. I can't watch the Eagles continue to sit back, smoke cigars before they even pick guys because they know that the rest of the NFL is so dumb. This is not drafting for need.
Will Johnson on the Eagles. Will Johnson on the Eagles would just be a nightmare. You just put on Madden, the all Madden 2020 team, and you just have 13 Eagles players right there on the spot because they just sit there and they wait for all these teams to make these little clown moves.
And they just gobble these players up.
And the year that the Jaguars don't do a clown move, the Browns don't do a clown move, the Raiders don't do a clown move, we get the teams, all of a sudden they want to start doing clown moves. Like,
this is where Omarion Hampton goes. Denver's on the clock.
Easily. I'd be shocked.
I thought Denver might move up. They're not going to have to move up to get their guy. Javonte Williams is gone. Jalen McLaughlin is too small. I don't understand the Ibuka pick, but that's still not as bad as Dallas and Miami, but whatever.
They could go wide receiver here too, though, to be honest with you.
Which wide receiver? Who?
The Texas wide receiver?
Matthew Golden? Yeah. I think Golden's going to fall here, man. The off-the-field stuff, the noise is loud. I mean, it's not Henry Ruggs loud, but it's loud, man. It's Shannon Sharp loud right now. You know what I mean? It's loud. And I think guys sour on that. I just do, man. I mean, they do have Marvin Mims. They have Cortland Sutton. I think they need to put Marvin Mims in a position to excel this year because the guy can flat out ball, and they don't let him. Let this kid spin this year. Put him on the field more. Give him a nice higher percentage. Enough with just the kickoff returns and punt returns. Let this kid spin, and I think you'll see real acceleration in his, in his career this year. I think Omarion Hampton makes the most sense here for, when you think about what already happened with AJ going to Vegas. And this kind of, you don't want Omarion Hampton going to Kansas City.
No.
This is what I know. You don't want Omarion Hampton going to Kansas City.
Yeah, this could be an addition like that is also a double move to keep him.
Yeah. You want to
even think about the Chargers. I know they signed Najee Harris, but are they like head over heels over Najee Harris?
No,
it was only a 1-year deal, if I'm not mistaken, too, for them. So
it's 1-year deal.
I feel like they're going to want to take him just to keep him away from the rest of the AFC West.
I could see it. I mean, and they have Kamani Vidal, who I think Harbaugh is going to give a bigger chance to this year to excel in LA. I could see this being Hampton. I could see this being the second running back off the board. It wouldn't surprise me if they went defense because the defense is already super strong, and to just even make it more strong because when they play teams like Kansas City, when they play teams like Vegas, they dominate with their defense.
Imagine Will Johnson across from Surtain.
Yeah.
Two sides of the field.
No fly zone.
Play of riches.
Or they could just go no fly zone. And you have two great cornerbacks here to do it. You've got three great quarterbacks to do it. You got Will Johnson, you got Barron, and you got Harrison. Any of those guys. And now you're just taking the field away completely. Now you have to have a Travis Kelce in the middle type, or else you're going to be in trouble. Or you better have a guy who can get acceleration after the catch, who can, or a guy who could just blow by you like Worthy, which teams have, but taking away 3/4 of the field is a big flex in the NFL, and I could also see it. That's a good point. I could see them going cornerback here too, man. Denver Broncos are in good shape, man. Let me tell you something, and I hate to even say it. I think the Broncos could win the West.
Ooh, yeah.
It's going to the AFC West matchups are going to be awesome next year.
They're awesome every year, Spence. I think the AFC West is the best division, even when the Raiders are horrible. Look at how the Raiders played Kansas City twice last year.
Yeah, true.
And
now the Raiders have a quarterback who
and every year they're always close. Travis Kelce had to catch 4 touchdowns to beat the Raiders at home on in prime time. Every year it's like a 1 or 2 point every year. Same thing when they play the Broncos. Same thing when they play the Chargers. You see what I mean? And now they've gotten better with Bowers and AJ. I think this is a spot where Denver says, "Nah, we're going offense too." If it's not offense, it's going to be cornerback. It's going to be real interesting. Pick is in. Let's hear it.
Let's take a look here. I would actually be shocked if it wasn't Omarion Hampton, to be honest with you.
Me too.
Because I think the running back room is very bad right now.
It's bad. It's just Jaleel McLaughlin.
But you can get Judkins early in the second. With
a
little bit.
There's a lot of good running backs.
Or Travion Henderson might fall too. Henderson's nasty too.
So good, man.
Henderson's
He's one
nice,
of my favorite
bro.
players in the draft.
Yeah, I hope Kansas City scoops him. He's nice. because Isaiah Pacheco is pretty much
and he doesn't have a lot of tread on his tires too, which I
hardly
like.
played, bro.
It's awesome.
He was a part-time baller. I want a guy I could put out there with soft hands, and he's the guy. I like him a lot. God, they take forever with these picks.
They do. It's so rough.
They are milk. I mean, we're 2 hours and 15 minutes in, and like we could be a pick 30 already.
Oh, easily. All right, Sam, come on, keep this train rolling, buddy. All right, let's see. I'd be nervous too, man. They do go for the spoil of riches. It's Jahdae Barron.
There we go.
It's not a bad pick, man. It's not a bad pick at all.
Barron to the Broncos. My goodness, man. The AFC West is getting good. They're getting a lot better. All right, we're going to let you go. I'm going to bring you back, Rob the Raider. Hang tight. Spencer's probably going to bounce out, so I'll bring you back on. We are bringing in our buddy Brian, Lions fan extraordinaire. Guys, I'm telling you right now, nobody knows more about the Lions than this guy, and the passion and the love for football that this guy has is like you cannot minimize it. I feel this man screaming through the screen. Bring him in. Welcome, World of Matchups, to the number one Lions fan in the world. Brian, welcome in, bro.
I don't know about the number one in the world, but I suffered 5 years working for the Detroit Lions radio network, spent my whole life in Detroit, and my dad started getting season tickets in 1975 when the Pontiac Silverdome opened up. So I've seen a lot. And, I've learned that as a Detroit Lions fan, I hear other fans complaining, Cleveland Browns fans, how they've never been to a Super Bowl. And my line is always this: that when you're a Detroit Lions fan, you don't feel sorry for anybody else. You feel sorry for yourself. And and obviously you do feel my pain. You can see it 2 years ago. I was celebrating at halftime saying, am I really going to get to cover? I got the wonderful opportunity to cover the Super Bowl here for Fox Sports in Las Vegas. And at halftime of the game, after I went and covered both of the playoff games in Detroit, I was sick and didn't go to San Francisco. And I'm like, wow, I'm going to see my Lions in the Super Bowl in my new hometown. This is unbelievable. And I remember when they lined up to go for it on fourth down after San Francisco opened up the second half with a field goal to cut it to 14 points. I remember putting my hands on my head, and my son goes to me, Dad, what's the matter? This is who Dan Campbell is. I go, son, remember I said this. This might be the worst decision in Detroit Lions football history.
It might
be.
After
the game, he's like, Dad, how did you know? And I said, it's not that I don't appreciate Dan Campbell's aggressiveness, but it was time for him to put his balls away and play smart, take back the momentum that San Francisco just took. You would have never had the bounce off the helmet of Brandon Ayuk, the fumble by Jahmyr Gibbs. They don't happen if they kick that field goal. It's that simple. But again, I'm crying over badly spoiled spilt milk, and I'm going to let that go. But then they go the next year. All my friends are like, hey, don't worry about it, Brian. Next year, this team is going to be so great. And, Spencer knows this because I said it on the radio. I said, with the Lions history, who's to say that somebody, and I'm not talking about Jared Goff going down. I'm talking about a catastrophic injury to somebody like, like an Aiden Hutchinson or like a Penny Sewell. I go, if one of those go down, it changes everything. A year later, Spencer's like, how did you know? I didn't know. It's the history of this team. And again, then one injury followed another. It was a domino effect, and a rookie quarterback goes into the Silverdome after they have the best season in history for the Detroit Lions and beats them when they got, for the first time ever, they've had home field advantage throughout. And this year, I'm telling you guys, like I said, I want to believe. My friends are hating me, like, why are you such a hater? I'm not a hater. I'm a realist. And you lose two coordinators like a Ben Johnson and an Aaron Glenn. It is not just, you don't just plug and play coordinators. Coaches make a difference. Dan Campbell has made a difference. These guys, now that they have replacing them, like I said, yeah, you've got one guy that's been with Dan Campbell forever. I'll give the guy credit. Kevin Shepard's been around there. He's been around the organization. He understands the defense, but that defense was garbage as they were depleted last year. And I'm telling you what, John Morton, who is he? I understand he was with the Jets for a while, for God's sakes. What have they done? And you're going to tell me this guy's going to come in and be as creative as Ben Johnson? Those guys make a huge difference. And the most important thing, Aiden Hutchinson is elite. world class, and was on his way to a Hall of Fame career, a truly generational player. Is he going to be again? I'm not going to say he's not. Modern medicine is absolutely astonishing what they can do. But you're telling me that leg wasn't shattered? You can put a rod in that leg around shattered bones and he's going to be fine. I watch him working out. I see the guy laboring. I've watched the NFL my whole life. I go to practices for the Raiders. I went to years of practice for the Lions. You can see when somebody's laboring. He's laboring. Now, he's still got a couple more months. And again, I said it earlier on before you guys went on that an 85% Aiden Hutchins is still better than 90% of the edge rushers in the NFL. And if he can get back to 85%, that's huge. But guys, they need an edge rusher. And a guy like Green, I know
there's going to be someone that's going to fall.
People are thinking he didn't have enough competition.
Green.
A guy like Pierce Jr., unbelievable.
Pierce Jr.
Yeah.
And
Derek Harmon just
Pierce
went to the
Jr.
Steelers, by the way. That was kind of surprising to me.
Wow.
Not really who I thought they would go after, but
wellness check
Harmon
on Deion Sanders because Shedeur
there's the Deion cam I see on YouTube.
They thought that Pittsburgh was going to take him. You know, you guys are exactly.
Go to the Raiders in the second
round pick because he's a wild card. And I knew he was going to go in the second round. And, you know, the bottom line is once New Orleans drafted, if that wasn't their guy, he was going in the second round.
Wow, Derek Harmon. I was not expecting that. I mean, it's a defensive lunch pail type team for sure, but that's not somebody I would have expected to go to Pittsburgh.
I don't know if
Detroit's going to get that edge rusher, Brian. He's going. There's plenty of guys, man. I mean, for some reason,
Campbell
nobody
still
wants
out there
these
too, by the way.
edges,
I
man.
think that's actually
James
kind of
Pierce
absurd.
Jr. still there. There's so many of these guys that are available.
Well, that kid, Donovan Azubuike from Boston College, I'll tell you what, he's a hell of an edge rusher.
He's a hell of a player.
He could be an NFL player. I do think they will get an edge rusher. I'm banking on it because, you know, they let go of Zadarius Smith, which maybe they'll bring him back. They're still talking about bringing him back. But, guys, there's some rumors out there, and I want you to remember this. I said this now on your podcast. Jahmyr Gibbs' rookie contract is up after this year. Do you know that he went and took himself off of every Lions social media site? Literally removed himself. What does that mean? Why would he do that?
Money. He wants his money.
And the next thing is, I hear that they are looking at potentially figuring out a way to do something with Jameson Williams. If they do anything but put him in uniform,
they're going to trade him
out of their minds.
They're trading him. Watch. They're going to trade him to the Raiders.
It's been a headache for them, to be honest.
Hey, I wouldn't mind seeing him play here for the Raiders. My new adopted
They're going to trade him to the Raiders. But that rumor is circulating. Man. He's a hell of a player, man.
He is.
He's just a head case, like most of these guys.
Honestly, a little bit of a head case. I think there's more made of that. You know, he gambled, he's done a few things, but I want to tell you, you know, some of my friends have actually seen him around the community of Detroit. They all say he's a good guy. He stops, he signs autographs, he talks to people. I think maybe he's getting a little bit of a bad rap. I really do, and I think he's going to be fine. And like you said, this kid has all kinds of ability. Really, if his head does stay together, and that is a bad rap, this kid could be world class. He's one of the fastest players in the game.
He is electric with the ball in his hands. Yeah. End arounds, long balls. He can take a 2-yard out, 80 yards. I just wonder why he has not excelled. I mean, he's the perfect complement to Amon-Ra St. Brown, but it just, for whatever reason, it just hasn't come to fruition like you would expect it to. And now they're talking about maybe shopping him, which to me is a little surprising. I'd still give him another year. It's just to see what he can do. I like. Who's on the clock?
The Chargers are on the clock, and they're in a pretty interesting spot.
They're going to take Hampton. Well, they could take Omari and Hampton.
Yeah, that's a good call.
I don't know, man. Kimani Vidal never got his shot. So, I mean, Najee Harris is on a 1-year deal. They need help on defense. They just got rid of Joey Bosa. This is where Mike Green or James Pierce Jr. goes.
I don't know. I'll tell you what, they could use a little help on their defensive line also.
They need help everywhere, truthfully. I mean, it's just
Lad McConkey. Actually, I think they're kind of bummed on who was just taken, to be honest with you. I think they're kind of shocked by that Steelers pick. I actually kind of feel like that's where they wanted to go.
Yeah, that's a little surprising. I wasn't expecting them to go that route.
They let Asante Samuel Jr. go, the Chargers, so secondary.
They need help. I could see them taking Will Johnson here.
Wide receiver position, though, like big time. Like they need something offensively to get them going.
All they really have is Lad McConkey. their other wide receivers are trash.
They kind of lucked out with him. If we're
and
being
they lucked out with
honest.
Ladd. They really did. I mean, he was not high on a lot of people's, but he wasn't high on my board. And he showed out last year. Ladd McConkey had a really, really nice year.
Oh, man, a stud. An absolute stud.
He's a stud, man. They can go a lot of different ways here, man. Me, personally, I have to go defense here. Defense wins championships. I know everyone has seen it. If I'm the Chargers, you just lost Joey Bosa. Not that he was a model of consistency, but how do you replace Joey Bosa?
What about a guy like Kenneth Grant?
Grant, he went.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Grant went.
That's who I had on the board. I actually had him slated there for the Chargers initially.
Yeah, he went early.
You're right.
Cornerback or edge.
That was the bad pick that the Dolphins took.
That was the Dolphins.
This is where everyone thought they would go. Man, no one thought he would go top 15.
Mike Green. Why is Mike Green falling? This is disturbing. This is troublesome to me, man. Mike Green ends up on Philadelphia.
In the pre-draft process too. You never
know.
Yeah.
These guys are taking.
I'm shocked about both. He really showed out. I mean, he's a sophomore. Is it maybe his age that somebody doesn't want to develop him because he's a young kid? I mean,
Pierce Jr. also has character issue concerns that I've heard about too in the pre-draft process. So that could be a big reason why he's slipping too.
James Pierce.
I still could see James Pierce here. I think that's probably the favorite.
I'm hoping he slips to the Detroit Lions. That's who I want to get. I would love to see him play for the Lions right now. I think he'd be a perfect complement on the other side of Hutchinson.
James Pierce on one side, Hutchinson on the other. Now that's a lie.
Man.
I still think you should have taken Jalen Carter personally, but I understand why you didn't. That's monsters of the midway type stuff right there. I mean, to me, you can find
the Michigan guy. I think that played into it a little bit, but
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Jahmyr Gibbs, but to me, running backs don't win Super Bowls.
No, they don't. They don't.
Trenches win Super Bowls. Do I have Dan the Man locked in? I think I just got somebody else. Do you want to go 4-box or you don't want to wait?
He's not in yet, but when he is, I'll definitely let you know.
Okay.
We can bring him in. So I'll keep you up to date there on that. If you need me to send the link again too, I can do that.
I got it.
Wow, dude, this first round is like the last 10 picks or 5 picks have just been at a crawl. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
This presentation is terrible.
You know what I think is happening? I think we expected there to be a lot of trading from pick 7 through 13, maybe.
I think maybe
just
you're
really
a lot of
hasn't
conversations, and they're not.
So
and no one's pulling the trigger.
I think they're fielding phone calls, man.
Yeah.
Guys like Kansas City are calling. They're trying to trade up. They want to make sure they're realizing that, man, these offensive tackles are wearing thin. They're still there. Look, can we get in before, can we get it? Can we go up 5 spots? You know what I mean? Will anyone
work with us? I want to ask you guys real quick, both your opinion, being that I'm a Lions fan and I predicted the Green Bay Packers are going to win the NFC North this year. I think if Jordan Love stays healthy, Josh Jacobs, probably his last good season coming up. That body's taking a beating. But I think Josh Jacobs has one more year. He's rejuvenated in Green Bay. Green Bay Packers, I'm thinking defensive back for them. What are you guys thinking for Green Bay?
Cornerback. Jair Alexander is on his way out, and they're going to replace him with a young, hungry stud. That's where they're going to go.
Yeah,
he's a head case. Will Johnson.
That's my pick. I have Will Johnson for the Packers.
Will Johnson in green and gold makes too much sense. That'd be sick.
He's a stud out of Michigan. It figures a Michigan guy will end up at Green Bay,
I'm telling you, that's where it makes too much sense. Some of these picks, they just make too much sense. You know what I mean?
These are these smarter franchises that just take smart picks.
To do everything he can to get rid of him. They'll just release him in a couple weeks, and Will Johnson or another cornerback. There's another guy, Harrison. They just slide right in. I agree with you about Green Bay, man. They're a dangerous team. Man. They are.
Jordan Love really
if they cut some of the fat, they get rid of A.J. Dillon.
Yep.
Let them get another running back here too, man. It's over. Let them get Judkins. Let them get Henderson, dude. Packers are a 13-win team this year. They're a very good team, and they are very well run.
Trying to tell my boys in Detroit, don't sleep on the Green Bay Packers.
You can't. And this is what I know. Any team that hosts the draft makes a splash. They're gonna make a. Their fans are out there. Their fans are out there waiting.
The Lions made a splash like the Titanic. They were
when they took
biggest
Terry
ship
and
on earth,
Arnold.
but they sunk.
Yeah, when they picked Terry and Arnold, you would have thought that they won the Super Bowl. People were going bananas. It's going to be just like that in Green Bay. Come on, Chargers. The pick is in. Let's go. These picks take forever, Spencer. Come on.
Yeah. We were right. We were right about this one. It's Amari and Hampton. We were right about this one.
Wow.
I think the Broncos are kind of shockingly bad for that, to be honest.
Interesting.
Wow. My goodness. The AFC West is going to be good, man. Wow. So Amari and Hampton behind Kamari Vidal. He might even be expendable. And Najee Harris on a 1-year deal. Ladies and gentlemen, we're bringing in a man that needs no introduction anywhere in the civilized free world. Friend of the show, A1 from day one. He's working. He's feeding the dog. The guy's everywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, from Long Island, New York. Let's give it up for Dan the Man O'Brien. What's up, bro? Welcome to the show.
What's good, player? I see
Happy
the Chargers
aren't going
with the Chargers aren't going with the retread Ravens running backs anymore, huh?
Nah, dude, this is a good pick. Omari and Hampton
is a great pick.
Beast. I think they saw what Denver did, and they're like, okay, if you're going to let this kid slide, we're going to slide in there and we're going to get. I mean, what does Harbaugh like to do? He loves to run the
baby,
ball.
run.
Run, baby, run. Run for dough, throw for show, dude. And so this is a great, great pick by the LA Chargers. Man, the Chiefs going to have their hands full, man. The Chiefs better make a splash with this draft because these guys.
And the Broncos getting another DB, that's huge too.
Taking the field away from everybody. Mercy.
The AFC West is going to be just a pound and ground dogfight, bro.
AFC West is going to be a dogfight, bro. I'm telling you. I think they have the potential to literally be the best division in football. I'm not even joking. I'm not saying this just because I'm a diehard Chief fan. They have the makings of like every week is a bloodbath. I mean, it was like that before this. So you look at any of these matchups that the Chiefs play with any of these guys, they're all close. 17-10, 13-7. Like, I'm telling you, you guys watch out for the Raiders, the Broncos, and the Chargers. They are doing everything they can to make sure that they don't lose to Patrick Mahomes anymore, man. I'm telling you. Who's your best pick so far this draft?
I mean, my boy Bucky getting more weapons over there in Tampa Bay. They spread that field out. My boy Bucky.
I didn't understand that pick. They need to go.
I didn't either.
Tampa.
But I agree. But I'm like, whatever,
They need to get more defense in that. I don't know, man. That's a good player for Herbert there, man. Marion Hampton's an absolute monster. The kid is big, he's strong. 4 players with 600 receiving yards. To be that big, he's kind of like Jonathan Taylor, and he runs right up the middle here. I mean, I know UNC ain't playing the best competition in the world, but this guy is absolute house on fire. Some people saying he's the best running back in the draft, even over AJ. They're saying his pass pro is a little bit better than AJ, but we'll see. Coming up here, we got the Green Bay Packers, bro. And we were just talking, me, Brian, and Spencer were just talking. The Packers need to take a cornerback here.
Have to.
You take a cornerback here, man, and you get rid of that head case, and
get
you are cooking with
out of there, bro.
Get Alexander off this team, bro. Get Alexander off this team, dude.
He's useless.
Hey, guy, the best ability is availability. The guy is never, ever, ever on the field. I mean, it's such a
and it's multiple games in a row, and it's
chunks of games, 6 weeks out, knee issue, injured ankle, lingering issue, and then he's always talking, I'm the best. Dude, it's been 2 years since you locked up Jay Jettas and cost me a fantasy Super Bowl. Stop, son. It's time for you. Stop. Okay, stop. It's time for the Packers to get young here. I'm thinking Will Johnson for sure, or Maxwell Harrison. Yeah. But we'll see what they do. I think they're gonna make a splash. Wow, it looks like the president is there. Holy cow, there's a lot of people.
Did you see how many people are there, bro?
There's a lot of people there in Green Bay.
They are nowhere near the stage. Like nowhere near the stage.
That's a lot of people. I mean, me and Spencer went when it was here in Las Vegas. It didn't look like it didn't look nothing like that. Dude, that's a sea of green.
Dude,
holy cow!
That's just insanity. Look at that. That's crazy.
Well, they do it right, man.
I mean, what else is there to do in Green Bay? So
I mean, I've been there, man. I went with that crew from Mike's place in the 90s. I went twice. It's a great place to go see football, man. I went with that whole Green Bay, that whole crew. It was unbelievable. But yeah, I'm
nice.
I'm really surprised about how many people are there, man. Damn, they did a good job in there. If they don't go cornerback, I don't know which way they go here. Probably edge. I mean, having more defense is never a bad thing.
I mean, have the Eagles just tarnished this draft with the amount of edge rushers that have gone so far?
Guys, no, man.
It's like a run.
It's I told edge rushers and offensive linemen. I mean,
yeah.
The way they took Kansas City apart, people are never gonna forget that. I mean, that's the worst beating,
that.
and that's the worst beating I saw in the Super Bowl since the Giants lost 34-7 to the Baltimore Ravens. And so, that people have short memories, and I think that. When you're a prisoner of the moment like that, you got to do everything you can to protect your quarterback and get your line solidified. That's why you've seen like some of these cornerbacks, they're waiting so long. Like, I mean, Harrison's a really good player. Will Johnson could end up being on the Eagles again here. This is what the Eagles do, man.
This is what the Eagles do. Everybody picks guys, and you're like, okay.
That's what the Eagles
They just fall into the Eagles' lap.
My goodness, bro. This is what they do, man.
And then we'll have to hear Alex for, a month about it.
Worst pick in the draft so far.
I mean, I get, trading up for Hunter, but it's a lot to go up to get him. But I know Jacksonville needs him. I like Hunter, don't get me wrong.
I wouldn't have done that.
It's a lot to move up to get Hunter.
I don't like him that much, bro. But they're going to use him both ways.
They're going to use him both ways. So, let's hope Trevor Lawrence can connect on a pass. That's been an issue.
I don't like him that much. I mean, they were at 5. They could have landed a very good player at 5.
Yeah.
They could have taken AJ.
They could have. I didn't like
took Travis Hunter over Ashton Gente.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then you gave away a lot to get him, which is crazy. I'd pick Hunter, but I wouldn't trade up to get him.
No, right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's wild. What is taking so long with these picks?
Dude, it's crazy.
I'm saying, these guys are taking the full 10 minutes.
And where's Shador going now?
That's a good question. Spencer, get back in here and give me an answer to that question. Where is Shador Sanders going? You know what I mean?
Somewhere in the second round. I think he's good enough to get taken in the second. Unless this guy somebody racist or something in his in his pre-draft. So I don't.
Well, this is what I thought about Shador. I thought he was going to go early to Cleveland, or I thought he was going to fall out of the first round. And I think a lot of it has to do with ego. I do, man, and I think a lot of it has to do with Dion.
Yeah,
confident.
You can say the same thing about what's his name from the Titans. He had an ego problem too, man.
Confident men with egos and swagger aren't built for the NFL in today's league. They want you to come in humble and earn it. They don't want to hear about all this. All that flash that Dion was doing in the 80s with the gold chains and the Jerry curl and rapping and MC Hammer on the sidelines. Guys, you're never going to see that again.
No.
We're not tolerating that. All this.
You talk about billion-dollar franchises. They're not going
to. Dude, the days of the rap elite, they're over. These guys want good old boys who are going to not cause waves. And I think that's why Shador is going to fall, man. Because I think he could be a good NFL prospect. I mean, if the comparison is black, like Daniel Jones, that's one thing. But black Brock Purdy is something else.
Right.
I think he could be Brock Purdy.
He could be.
Brock Purdy went to a Super Bowl.
I think Shador's got to be in a good system, though.
Where's he go?
Do the Giants trade back in and really try to take him and put him?
I think if the Giants trade back in, they're taking Jackson Dart.
I think
day two becomes really interesting if Shador's name is not called because he's not going past the second round. I mean, it would have to be catastrophic.
Middle of the second round. You know, usually that's where the guys who fall go. I mean, I know Aaron Rodgers and Will Levis and a lot of these other guys, you know, really, really waited. But if Shedeur Sanders is not picked by this time tomorrow night, there's something wrong, man. I mean, the guy's got talent. He's got Deion's blood in him. That alone warrants, to me, at least a late first.
And he's not bad, too, by the way. Like, you know, it's I think he gets.
No, but, you know, when you have the whole, you know, retiring the number and, you know, that's just
that was a little intense.
Dude, the Deion hype train can work against these guys, man.
It can.
It can. You know what I mean? Come on, Packers, give us something here. You only took 40 minutes to pick. My God, dude.
The rest of the picks should be in. They should just come out and announce them, like put a little graphic on the board and say who the rest of the draft picks are for the first round.
Just growing old and waiting for these guys to pick. How is this not a cornerback?
It'll be the first preseason game.
Honestly, I think Shedeur Sanders ends up a Raider.
I'm going to say wide receiver. I'm still going to say they break the mold and they go wide receiver.
Yeah, they have so many wide receivers, though, man. They got Romeo Dobbs. They got
I think
they got so many.
They're just dudes.
Wow,
just dudes.
Golden. That's crazy.
They took Matthew Golden.
That's crazy.
They break the streak.
Why though? You have so many wide receivers, man. You need corner help. That's a bad pick. I'm sorry. You need cornerback help. You need cornerback help. That's a terrible pick for Green Bay. I'm sorry. That is such a bad pick. Why would you do that?
That's pretty crazy.
I don't get it.
The guy's got character issues. I don't personally think he's as good as everybody thinks he is. I mean, I know he went for Texas. You know what I mean? I think Green Bay, Rob the Raider says Green Bay skyrockets past Dallas for the worst pick. Matthew Golden to me is he's a day 2 prospect. That's a bad pick, Spencer. You have so many wide receivers.
He's a wide receiver too, man. He kind of adds to the list of wide receiver too.
Christian Watson. Christian Watson. You got that other guy. You got they're loaded. You got Romeo Dobbs. You got that other guy who's really, really good. That don't make no sense.
That is kind of
That don't make no sense. They got a tight end who's never sees the field that they promised that they're going to use coming in this year. I mean, what are we doing here, man? That's the worst pick of the draft right now.
It's a little bizarre for sure.
It just doesn't make sense.
This tells me that they're trading somebody. They're trading somebody.
I don't understand.
Okay, so the Vikings are on the clock now. They could go Will Johnson here. Their defense sucks too. Malachi Starks could be taken here.
Starks, Will Johnson, James Pierce. It's all defense. Defense.
And they have a really good choices here. Dude, I cannot believe that Jahad Campbell is still on the board. I think he's going to be a really, really good linebacker in the NFL.
I can't believe Will
the linebacker position is just undervalued now, man. It really is.
Did we lose Danny?
I think so. He may need to maybe just back out and come back in. I'm not sure. I can bring Rob the Raider back in here.
He's in? Bro.
Yeah, he's in.
What are we doing?
What's going on?
I mean, the Packers said, hold my beer, literally. They said, hold our Wisconsin beer, Cowboys, because watch what we do. I mean, 9, 10 wide receivers. I mean, how many of them can play at a time?
And they're all about the same talent level, too. Like, their problems if they don't have a 1, and now they just added another 2.
All conceited head cases who are very streaky. One moment, 7 catches, 140 yards, a tutty or 2, and then the very next week, quiet, church mouse.
No, they're I don't they needed help on the defensive side of the ball. This has been their downfall for many years now. But it almost feels like one of those picks where they haven't taken an offensive player in the first round for I think what has it been 10 years or something like that, where they felt the pressure to do it. And there's really no one else there from the offensive position. Like the rest of the guys that are going to be taken are probably going to be on the defensive side of the ball because they're just falling too far. These guys can't fall forever because they're too talented. Jahad Campbell, James Pierce, Will Johnson, Nick Emanwari. I mean, these guys are all good.
I agree. I look at it kind of like that. It just tells me maybe Reed or Dalbs is going to be trade material. I mean, you know, there's
No,
people.
I think his name was he was a big crybaby last year for the Packers, right? I don't remember who it was, but they had a big problem in the middle of the year where I think a guy was like sitting out because he wasn't getting balls thrown at him.
Yeah, I believe that was Jalen Reed, right?
Was that who it was?
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. Romeo Dobbs suspended for conduct detrimental to the team, and the wide receiver will miss Sunday's game versus. Yeah, so that was just last year.
Christian
They've had that problem,
Watson,
and it made it only worse.
Reed, Golden, I mean, no, God.
You may see one of those guys
pick of the draft.
in the draft.
Terrible.
You may see one of these guys move in the draft.
Worst pick of the draft. I mean, you're letting talent.
They're no better than they were when they started the day.
Howie Roseman is lighting up a cigar right now because he's getting a stud. He's getting a stud at 32, and you're the Super Bowl champion, and you're getting a stud. Matthew Golden is a day two. He's a day two player.
Early day two, but a day two player for sure.
Yeah, but I don't understand. You have a stable of wide receivers. You got more wide receivers than some teams have. You can trade. They have to have a trade in place.
Keep moving somebody.
Christian Watson has to go. His hamstrings are always falling off. Romeo Dobbs, you know what I mean? They got another guy who's really, really good. Why is his name eluding me right now?
Oh, the Giants are trading back into the first round.
Jalen
Reed is solid.
Are they going for Jackson Dart here?
Dart throw.
They're picking now. They traded with Minnesota.
I don't know if it's with Minnesota.
No, Minnesota, the pick is in.
So Minnesota maybe okay. So they may like Houston. That'd be shocking if it was Houston. It may be with the Rams.
Houston needs a tackle.
Could be the Rams because they could be scared that the Rams are taking Jackson Dart, and so they trade forward again.
Yeah, the Rams got Stetson Bennett though. Do they believe in him?
No.
Do you believe in him?
I don't believe in it. Yeah, I mean, the guy's got head problems, so I could see Jackson Dart going there. I mean, Matthew Stafford's older. He's not going to be there forever. He's got maybe 2 good years left.
Donovan Jackson goes to the Vikings here.
Reach. What are these guys doing, man? Reach.
That's kind of wacky.
Reach. Well, hold on. Let me see if I can find him.
My note on him is, I don't know, just not someone who I would invest a first round.
Houston traded the pick.
I'm out on.
Houston, that's perfect because they need linemen, so that helps Kansas City.
Giants.
Perfect. Great job,
What
Big.
is Houston doing?
Great job, Big Blue.
They're gonna take Dart here.
Downfall.
Take Dart here. They believe in Dart. I've been hearing it all week.
Wow.
They love Dart, bro.
This is
all they've been talking about.
I thought this would happen.
If Jackson Dart goes over Shedeur Sanders, I'm gonna laugh so hard, bro.
Yeah,
I got
think
something ready.
The Giants were scared of the Rams taking Dart. I really.
They were. I agree.
Dude, Donovan Jackson might be one of the worst picks of this draft.
Oh, that was bad. I didn't like
this team needs defense like no one.
He's a bad run defender.
Why would you pick this guy? He's a horrible run defender. You are picking over the likes of so many stud players, man. I mean, this is insane to me. Will Johnson, James Pierce Jr., Mike Green. What? What are we doing?
They clear it out. The Packers pick. They're out.
This is great, man. This helps Kansas City. I was worried that Houston was going to get a lineman.
Wow.
Because then they trade Tunsil.
For it.
Yeah.
They traded Tunsil.
Get $34.99 in a 2026 third rounder.
Chiefs are going to get a good
pretty
player
good deal to get back up into the first.
Yeah. That's actually a nice haul. But still, I still think Cleveland's winning the draft. Even, I don't understand. I just don't understand giving up all that just to get Travis Hunter.
That's pretty insane.
Yeah.
Jags are stupid. Jags, let me tell you something. Cleveland and the Giants are winning this draft. If the Giants take Dart here. Jackson Dart can ball, bro. I don't know what you think about him. He can ball. He can ball,
play.
Too.
You know what I mean?
He could play.
And now you have him behind two decent NFL quarterbacks. One's a Super Bowl champion. The other one can teach you what not to do, and the one can teach you what to do. Dude, dead ass. This is a winning combination. I don't know. I kind of have a heart for the Giants. I want to see them do well again. You know what I mean? And them, if they get Dart here, I think they're winning the draft. Them in Cleveland.
The only mistake
neighbors will be excited about that.
Yes. Dart to Neighbors 2 years from now, bro. Dude, Neighbors this year.
Neighbors balled out with nobody this year.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Neighbors going to see 200 targets this year, bro. He's going to be a stud. Him, Harrison, all these sophomore quarterbacks, they're going to go to the moon. Brian Thomas Jr. to the moon. The moon. They're going to see 1 million targets, bro. Once you get a feel for the NFL, that second year you come back and you're ready. I think it's going to be that case for these guys this year.
I agree. Huge bump.
Is Giants are on the clock?
Giants are on the clock. Yep. Pick is in.
If it's not Jackson Dart, who is it?
Shedeur.
You think Shedeur Sanders goes to the Giants?
It's a quarter.
It has to be. You're not trading back in for anybody.
You're not going that
far. You're not trading that pick to go up and get another type of player. Is what you're saying.
And also, there was tons of reports of Dart being linked to the Rams
all over New York these last few weeks. It's all
Dart. They've been talking about Jackson Dart like it's run out of style.
I don't think it's going to be Shedeur. I would be really surprised about that.
The Giants don't want that Dion.
They need to hurry up with these picks, man. They got hungry people over here. What are we doing? Seriously, like I don't understand. Why does it take so long to put the pick in? You got 10 minutes for each pick, then you got another 6 minutes for commercials, like 16 minutes between picks. Y'all don't know who you want by now?
I think they do. I think they just make them roll out there.
The NFL draft, they drag this thing out, man. My goodness.
I think the Giants were looking to move up into the draft the first round, and they just had to wait till they get the right amount, so where they weren't going to overpay for that pick. Yeah, and so like right now is a perfect amount because the Steelers and everybody else didn't jump on Shedeur or Jackson. So now it's kind of this is the point where if Shedeur doesn't get taken now, he might be a third or fourth round pick.
Yeah. Dude, they counted votes faster in Nevada. This is ridiculous. This is really taking a while.
They got the Shedeur cam up right now. I don't think he got picked, man.
I don't think Shedeur got picked. His face would be all over the screen.
Out there, yeah.
And you know deep down inside he's hurt.
Oh, of course.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's acting as if. So is Dion.
He's a nepo baby, dude.
But you already know, like he'll go home and cry, and he's crying in the car tonight.
I should have never have retired his jersey at Colorado. Man, that's so embarrassing.
What has Shedeur Sanders ever done to deserve being retired?
It's so terrible, man.
Get out of here with that, bro. Stop.
That was crazy.
Shout out Cordell Stewart, bro. Please stop.
Yeah,
dude, what are they trying to find Eli Manning here to come announce the pick? I mean, this is crazy.
Seriously, what are we doing, bro? Are we trying to find Lawrence Taylor in the bathroom? You know what he's doing.
He's doing a
what are we doing here? Like, make the pick. Come on, Dable. Like, y'all know.
Making sure they get good footage for the next time they show.
And another third.
I'll be shocked if this is not Jackson Dart. I really
has to be Jackson.
Falcons are moving back into the first round.
What? They're gonna get a cornerback.
They want you to do it.
No,
they want Will Johnson.
That would be something the Falcons would do, knowing them at this point.
I don't understand how Will Johnson's still available. There's a lot of talent here.
That may be what they're doing.
Mike Green. Oh my goodness.
You could be right. They took Jalen Walker. Maybe they just go maybe they just say screw it and just say like, look, we need a lot of edge help. And they take another one, Yeah. It could be where they're just like, hey man, we're gonna draft a bunch of edge rushers. We'll find out which ones are good and just throw them all out
Mike Green,
because they don't really have much at all.
They don't have. I said it before. Like when you are on the field and your offensive coordinator's not who's the guy on Atlanta. He's like, dude, make sure you chip this guy. Make sure you double this guy.
Yeah.
Who is that guy?
Yeah, they swung and missed last year. So
Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
Jackson Dart.
No surprises there.
Wow.
Let me tell you something.
Wow.
Giants are having a nice draft.
Yeah.
Giants having a nice draft, dude. What did they give up to get this pick? They what? They knew the Rams were going to take Jackson Dart.
I think they did.
They knew. Matthew Stafford's a statue.
And the Rams weren't going to go up to get him, obviously.
Nope.
So.
Yeah, no. This is a great pick. I think Jackson Dart can play, man. So
he's just got to sit and learn, man. I think this is a really good spot for him. I think he's
going to get decent tutelage. He's got two NFL starting quarterbacks in front of him who have had decent careers, and Russell Wilson has had better than decent career. He has. He's had a better than Russell Wilson is a borderline Hall of Famer. If Russell Wilson got that second ring, we'd be talking like him more than like people are saying Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer. We'd be talking about him the same light. We'd be talking about them the same way. I think
Shedeur Sanders a Raider now.
I think so. I think he's a day 2 Raider.
I don't think they have to trade up to get him now. I think
nope. I think it's going to fall to them. Raiders will have a nice draft. Raiders having a nice draft if they get Shedeur Sanders.
I like the idea of Shedeur Sanders.
You get your quarterback of the future.
Shedeur Sanders.
Well, not only that, you get a guy like Geno Smith who can tell them about the ups and downs of what it's like.
Humble
to be
yourself, man. Geno Smith learned that big time.
Geno Smith, if anyone learned that, Geno Smith learned that. You know what I mean? Absolutely. He came out and he was projected to be a top quarterback in this league. I remember when I wanted Geno Smith as my quarterback as a Chief fan.
Yeah.
That's how long ago it was. 2012, 2013, something like that. You know what I mean? He's a veteran. It would be really, really good if they got him. I think this is a great pick for them, and I think it'd be a great pick for the Raiders.
Wow.
Well done, New York.
Well done. They didn't even give up that much. The trade package, I'm going to look back on it one more time, but it was kind of nothing too crazy.
It was basically a 3rd-round pick for this season and next season, and then like a pick swap. So in the 5th, so nothing really crazy.
No, for what they believe to be their starting quarterback.
Yeah,
I mean,
34, 99.
Quarterbacks in the room now, but wow. The Falcons must be pretty aggressive. I'm guessing it's Will Johnson personally.
I think so.
It has to be.
Falcons get 1st round and a 3rd round pick from this year. Rams get the second, the 2025 2nd round pick, which is 46, a 2026 1st round pick. So that's nice. Pretty crazy. That's pretty confident.
That's nice, dude.
I think that makes sense because, what are the Rams desperate for at this point? Considering what's on the board, I think they
need a quarterback, but more defense. In LA, I mean, they weren't really far away from beating the Eagles. I mean, weather was a big factor in that championship game. You know what I mean? But I mean, the Rams, I keep telling people, man, y'all keep sleeping on LA. The Rams are a very good team. Puka is really good. Getting Devontae Adams is a really, really good move, man. Fisk versus
such a good player, man.
Oh, great.
He fell to them. Loved Fisk coming out of the draft. Wow, that's good for the Giants, to be honest with you. This pick, good for the Giants. Like they have needed something to get excited about for a long time, and the fact that Jackson Dart doesn't have to play this year is really good for him because that guy, he needs a year to calm down. Like, first of all, I don't know if you guys saw. I watched the QB camp with John Gruden, Jackson Dart. It just got released yesterday, and you can tell the kid has a lot to learn.
Yeah, he does have a lot to learn, but they don't need him right now. And that's the thing. They don't need him right now, which is smart. They're thinking about the future. I don't know. I think a lot of people don't like Dart. I like Dart.
He has the arm talent. It's just the processing that he has.
Yeah,
he doesn't process very fast. So you get a lot of times when these linebackers are hitting him with double stunts and blitzes on the line, and he can't decipher what's what. And then Ole Miss, they ran that spread, so he just dumps it off to his first read. So now he gets to sit behind someone who's, like Russell Wilson came in, with Wisconsin and North Carolina. So, he kind of gets to sit behind somebody who adapted to the game step by step by step. Instead of being thrust, just being thrust in the spotlight where, he would do no one any favors,
Wow, we were right. We were right about the Falcons when it comes to edge rushing by numbers. They just took James Pierce Jr.
James Pierce, yeah. That's a good pick, dude.
Yeah, if you're the Falcons, dude, if you need edge help, then you draft and draft and draft.
I'm surprised James Pierce Jr. lasted this long.
It's a good pick.
Falcons need help on defense. They don't have a guy that can go after the quarterback. This is a fantastic pick by them, dude. I like it. I like what they've done.
Wow, what do the Ravens do at this point?
Malachi Starks.
Ooh. Maybe Will Johnson at this point. I don't see Will Johnson.
Starks or Will Johnson.
His medical must have been pretty bad. I mean, that's obvious at this point. His medical situation must have been worse than I think anyone ever thought.
I mean, Jalen Walker. They got Jalen Walker and wow, that's good for the Falcons, man.
They need it.
I think they're one of the big winners of the draft.
Yeah,
they need it.
I mean, they recognize these are our weaknesses. We don't have anybody that can really get to the quarterback with regularity. And when you think about a team like, let's take the Rams, for instance. Aaron Donald leaves. And they're like, well, we got to do something. Aaron Donald is like a football god. So they go out and they draft Jad Verse and they pick up Braden Fisk. Same draft. And all of a sudden, the Rams are back like they never left.
Right.
So now Atlanta's like, well, maybe we can do that. So we'll just go get a bunch of the best edge rushers, and we can score. We got great players. Their offense is not the problem.
No.
And and honestly, their secondary ain't bad either.
No.
Don't they have AJ Terrell?
Yep.
They got good players. They just got nobody that can go get the quarterback. They got nobody that's keeping an offensive coordinator up at night.
True.
These are good picks for them. I like it. I like it a lot. Who's up next? Baltimore, Malachi Starks, or Will Johnson? Write it down.
If Will Johnson doesn't go here, that means his medicals must have came back terrible.
It must have been gnarly.
Yeah, because this is a long way. Well, he'll just end up on the Eagles and ruin my night.
He was a fringe top 10 pick coming in. He was talked about like he was a fringe top 10 pick, especially anybody who needed DB1 who ran a zone scheme. And for him to fall all the way potentially to Baltimore, even if the Lions might get him,
Yeah.
It's one of those things,
That's a good point.
Our offense isn't going to be
Lions could get him.
Lions offense isn't going to be as good as it was last year, obviously with the departure of Ben Johnson, to the Bears.
You saw what happened in the championship game, or the divisional round. Excuse me. I mean, they went in there. They destroyed the Lions.
The Lions were playing with the YMCA.
Mind you, they
at that point,
they were playing with the 40 and older league, but still, Lions. I have never seen a defense so riddled with injuries in my life. They had a bad season at the end because they just had no bodies. So I could see that. Or they go after Mike Green. I don't know. I just keep planting my flag for Mike Green. Aiden Hutchinson on one side, Mike Green on the other? Dude, what?
Because you just
Brian Branch in the secondary, Terry Arnold at corner. Like, what? They come back strong. We know the Lions can score. That's not the problem. They can't stop anybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be very interesting to see what Baltimore does here. Spencer, you got to bounce?
I'm going to head out, guys. I'm going to my bachelor party.
Hey,
congratulations, bro.
Thanks.
The world of matchups and everybody here. Congratulations. I'll text you when we're done, and I'll just have you shut off the live stream. All right.
Sounds good. All right. Good luck, guys.
Man.
Have fun.
All right, man. Congratulations. I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right. So we are on the clock here. We are waiting. To this point, it has been a good draft. It has been a good draft. I'm kind of surprised at some of the picks that were taken. Dallas, Miami, Minnesota.
Minnesota's lost.
Just doesn't make any sense to me, some of the picks, but there's a lot of good prospects here, and it's going to be real interesting to see what happens here with these next picks. The Ravens are on the clock and the pick is in.
It's got to be defense. Got to be.
That's what the Ravens do, man. You know what I mean? I think their offense is just fine. You're going to get another solid year out of Derrick Henry. Lamar's going to be Lamar. The wideouts are going to do what they need to do. I mean, who are they going to get here?
Right.
They got Nate Wiggins last year. Actually turned out to be okay. You pair Will Johnson with Nate Wiggins. Try to create the no-fly zone, maybe? What do you think, Rob?
I'm going with Mike Green here. Mike Green has to be it. I can also see Will Johnson. I just don't see premier impact players going that late. Like, they can hold off. Like, they don't need Will Johnson to come in day one and just start balling. So if he needs another 3-4 weeks into the season to get his wheels underneath him, I can see that. But I definitely agree. They're going to go defense.
I think so, man. I mean, there's so much good stuff. There's so many good players still. My goodness, man.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, make the pick. Oh,
Make
I
the
like what
pick.
they're
It's been
doing.
in
I
plan.
like what they're doing in Green Bay, man. So depending on who's up, they give you the colors of that team. I like that. They've done a good job with this draft, man. There's more people out there than when Trump got inaugurated.
There's so many people out there.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to Green Bay, man. It's awesome there. Ain't much to do there, but if you go there for a football game, I've been there twice for Monday Night Football. It is incredible. And their tailgates rival. I mean, only Kansas City's tailgates are better. I've had a great time both times I went. It's just cold and boring, and their women are ugly. You know what I mean? But that was
San Antonio Packers.
That's when I was single. That's when I was a single man. You know what I mean? So let's see. Best available. There's so much talent here. Mike Green from Marshall. Malachi Starks. Malachi Starks is a dog.
Yeah, that's
he has the look of a Raider.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hoping for it to fall to the Chiefs at 31.
Chiefs are going to get a quality player. So are the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
Because 3 teams reached. Dallas, Miami, and Minnesota all reached. And so there's going to be quality players for those teams. And then Houston traded out. When Houston would have taken a lineman, the Giants did the Chiefs a favor. Because Laramie Tunsil's gone. Houston needs a lineman.
Yeah.
So Connerly or Simmons would have been gone. So
But
that helps Kansas State. Malachi Starks, dude, your boy is a football genius. Your boy is, bro. Y'all can't tell me nothing about my football acumen. I mean, I may not be working in an NFL capacity, but I know ball, bro. He has the look. He has the look of a Raven. And let me tell you something. This is one of the best picks in the NFL draft.
Wow.
This kid is a dog.
Yeah.
Dude, he is a dog. He's a dog. He gets after it, man. He's one of the best safeties in America. Look,
and then how the Ravens going to scheme him up. It's going to be lights out.
Him, you got Nate Wiggins. I'm telling you, man, the Ravens, dude. If the Ravens didn't have to face Kansas City or Buffalo in the first round every year, they could go to a Super Bowl. They just don't have their best game when it matters.
Right.
They're going to be the same team again. They're going to be the same team. They're going to win 13 games. Derrick Henry's going to run wild.
In the last 10 years, think about all the defenders that the Ravens have taken in the first round that they've hit on. C.J. Mosley. They've hit on Patrick Queen. They've hit on Kyle Hamilton. Now they hit on Nate Wiggins. They hit on Malachi Starks.
Now they got Malachi Starks. And look at his face. You could just tell when a guy's determined. Look at him. He's ready to ball. Dude, this is one of the best picks of the draft, bro. If the Chiefs needed safety help, he would be like number 1 on my board for safeties. He is a good player, man. Let me tell you something. This could be the Ravens' year, man. They have what it takes. They just choke. You know what the problem with the Ravens is? They never have home field advantage, and when they do, they play a team that scares them, like Patrick Mahomes. They saw Patrick Mahomes, and they just choked. They forgot who they were, and that was their shot to go to the Super Bowl, and they would have won the Super Bowl.
Well, that year Tennessee went in there and just lit them up.
Tennessee went in there and lit them up. Lamar, to me, I mean, Lamar's not a winner.
No.
Lamar is stats. You want stats.
Lamar gets you stats.
Yep.
He's not a winner. He's not a winner, man. He's a great player. He'll be a Hall of Famer. There's no question about it. But if I have to pick between him, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, I just can't take him when it counts. He's Casper the Friendly Ghost.
He's Matt Ryan that runs. He's a running Matt Ryan.
Such a good player too, man.
That's a great comparison.
It's a shame because he's such a good player, man. But this Malachi Starks pick, man, I'm telling you, he looks like a Raven. I can't wait to see him in his uniform. Pause. He's going to be a great, great, great Raven. You mark my words, man. I'm telling you. Sometimes you just look at a guy and you're like, you just say his name. You just like AJ. I feel like AJ was meant to be a Raider. I do, man. I've been saying this for weeks. I'm like, Ashton Genty at 6 is going to be a Raider, dude. He just looks like a Raider. He just fits. It will fit like a Raider. Starks is going to fit. Kyle Hamilton, Roquan Smith, Nate Wiggins, those guys, I guarantee you, they're going to either all go to Cancun or go out to some dinners. They're all going to pull it. They're going to bring him in and say, like, son, this is how we do. You're going to carry our bags for a couple weeks, but this is how we do things here in Baltimore, son. Yeah. And he's going to be great. This is one of my favorite picks in the draft. I like him a lot. Pause. Detroit. Detroit's getting Will Johnson. It only
Detroit needs
sense.
Will Johnson. Detroit needs Will Johnson.
They do.
Or Mike Green.
Or they need Arnold to not hold everybody on every play. That would help
Hey,
too.
dude, my goodness.
Oh my god.
Dude, they threw. I think they threw more flags at Terrion Arnold last season than any other NFL player. Maybe the right tackle for the Chiefs caught his share too. Both of them caught strays, bro. Like yellow's his least favorite color. I mean, and he held all the time. All the time, man.
All the time, bro.
All the time. And now Aaron Glenn is gone. I don't know who they got in there, but they need to help that boy press because they gave up a lot of yards. He got penalized a lot. I think Will Johnson here is the pick, man.
Do we see anybody? Oh, shoot.
Picks in. They got their guy. They wouldn't have waited so long. Maxwell Harrison or Will Johnson?
What? Wow. Tyreek Williams?
What? I have him on my day 2 big board.
Oh,
that's another terrible pick. See, it's nonsense like this. Why the Philadelphia?
Nonsense like this.
This is why the Philadelphia Eagles will go back to back.
Eagles are gonna get another guy in the secondary. Wild.
Shout out Alex got him. This is why the Eagles will go back to back. Nonsense like this.
Yeah, imagine the Eagles are going to get Will Johnson or Mike Green at this point, and there's nothing the league can do about it.
Exactly. Wild.
Yeah. You only get one pick. You know what I mean? Tyreek Williams. I'm not a fan.
He's in the same vein. He's in the same vein as Kenneth Grant. Like they're both very, very good run defenders, but after that, that's not what you needed when you needed it the most.
I have him on my day 2 big board. That's where I have him.
When you got that 40-piece dropped on your head in the loss, you know what I mean? It wasn't because they were running the ball.
I'm surprised. I really am surprised. I expected more out of Detroit. I did. I mean, I guess they're looking for pass rush help alongside, Aiden Hutchinson, but you're literally leaving.
Detroit's fumbling their window. That's what they're doing.
I think their window could be closed after this year. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs he's going to want his money. Mm-hmm. You paid Goff, you paid everyone. And dude, hats off to you for doing it, man. But I think their window might be it's not closed.
No.
But it's cracked.
It's closing.
It's cracked. Wow. I don't like this pick at all, man.
No.
This is a day 2. Dude, Will Johnson's going to the Eagles. I can't believe this.
Yep. Imagine the Eagles can sit back, wait 5-6 weeks into the season,
they just let what's the name go. They released what's his name? I can't remember, the older guy who's always getting roasted. And they're just going to get younger, faster, and better.
Yeah. They're going to let this guy sit on the bench for 6 weeks, slowly bring him in the dime packages, and here we go. And then they're going to get him up to speed. Now you're going to have Mitchell, you're going to have Dijon, and you're going to have Will Johnson just all over the place.
This is crazy.
Unreal.
This is crazy. I mean, I can't even find a guy in some of my Like, who is this guy? Yeah. Like, what? The Detroit Lions.
He was ranked the 8th best defensive tackle according to the draft boards. 8th.
8th. Dude, 8th. Dude, that's awful. I'm sorry.
Terrible.
Another bad pick, man.
Terrible.
Someone knows something about Will Johnson that we don't know.
Has to.
Mike Green as well.
I think what's hurting Mike Green the most is the fact that he went to Marshall. I mean, when they say, okay, you went to Marshall as an edge, who did you line up against?
Mike Green would be good here for the Redskins.
Yeah. Redskins need defensive help.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Let me tell you something. That's another team, man. There's a couple teams I'm really watching with a level of enthusiasm that I normally wouldn't. And one of them is the Jets. And another one is the Redskins. Dude, the Redskins are about to take a humongous leap. If they can secure a great defense here, man, they're going to be a tough team to beat. They can play with the Eagles. They've already proved that they can. I think they could even beat the Eagles on a sunny day. You know what I mean? And Jaden Daniels is the truth. Or maybe go tackle, keep his jersey clean. Problem with that is the guy runs around a lot. You might be wasting a pick. I mean, look what they did last year with the line that they have. You know what I mean? You don't necessarily really need it.
Right.
I mean, they have a backup from Kansas City playing as a starter. And look, they were a couple plays away. I mean, I knew they were going to get blown out by Philadelphia. I knew that.
Yeah,
the Eagles were a team of destiny last year. You don't see defenses like that very often. You know, they just to take apart a team like Kansas City the way they did surgically with ease. That's like I said, I haven't seen a defensive domination like that in the Super Bowl. There's a couple that come to mind. 34-7. Ravens over Giants, that comes to mind. 55-10. You know what I mean? Like
Chargers, 49ers.
49. Like, you just don't see that very often. You know what I mean? 34-7. Broncos over Seahawks. Like, every 10 years, there's one of those where you're just like, God damn, dude. Like, did you get off the bus, son? Like, that type of thing. I don't think anybody was beating the Eagles. No one would have beat the Eagles last year. That's why I don't really feel that bad about losing.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, sometimes things like that is what it takes for you to realize we cannot do anything until we protect Patrick Mahomes. If he doesn't have Secret Service, President Trump-style protection this year, then the Chiefs have failed him. Period.
Yeah.
I don't care what talent is there. If there's an offensive line there, that's who you take.
Yeah.
I don't care if you have to leave Malachi Starks there or Will Campbell there. I don't care. Mike Green's there. I don't care. I don't care. You have to get an offensive lineman. The pick is in.
Tackle.
They took
Josh
a tackle.
Connerly.
Oregon.
One of your squad.
Yeah, the Duck is now a commander. I like that a lot. They're
very good.
They're telling everybody that we watched the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And they're telling everybody that if we would have beaten the Eagles in the Super Bowl, in the championship round, we potentially could have won the Super Bowl. You know, so we're now getting a guy to protect our future $600 million piece in Jaden Daniels. This is a great pick for the Washington Commanders. And now Brett Veach is sweating. This is where Brett Veach is on the phone right now. Because who is up?
Buffalo.
If Buffalo takes Josh Simmons, the Chiefs are ass out. I don't think they will, but they could play keep away just to be spiteful. And they can. There's no love lost between the Bills and the Chiefs. They could take the guy just for giggles, just to be petty.
Yeah.
Just to be petty. Last time I checked.
Yeah. Well, they gave you Mahomes and Worthy. I mean, at some point they got to get it back, right?
Yeah, just to be petty, they could. I mean, last time I checked, protecting Josh Allen's not a bad idea. But the medicals have people scared. That's what has people scared is the medicals. There's something about the medicals that has Josh Simmons falling, which I'm fine with. I'm willing to swing on it because that's how bad the left tackle was in Kansas City. You didn't see deep balls. Patrick Mahomes didn't know which way was up because he's always worrying about getting drilled. I give the left tackle position in Kansas City an F+ last year. They were absolutely horrendous. They had Joe Thuney playing out of place. Shout out Joe Thuney. The guy to me was the most valuable player in the Chiefs last year. They would have never even made it to the Super Bowl if the guy didn't kick out. He's a left guard playing left tackle. They have to get somebody in there. I'm willing to swing and miss on Josh Simmons. I think that this is where Will Johnson goes. If he doesn't go to Buffalo, he's going to Philadelphia. Do us all a favor, please go to Buffalo.
Please go to Buffalo.
I like
Please.
Josh Connerly. I like Josh Connerly going to the Commanders versus the Chiefs, mainly because Jake Daniels is a mobile quarterback more so than Mahomes. But Josh Connerly also put up some really good combine numbers and pro day numbers. He had one of the fastest splits. He's also had one of the fastest 40 times. So he's used to playing out in space, and he's used to going out and running, helping out on the second level of the defense. So, blocking to block the second level of the defense. So I think that we're going to get Josh Simmons going to the Chiefs, which makes more sense to them because he's more of a hands on the inside type of tackle, which is what Ohio State likes to use because they don't want nobody coming up the middle, or coming around the side. So
he's grimy.
Yes, he is.
He's grimy.
You'll get some people
He's
who bull rush him.
Connerly's more finesse.
Correct. So I think it's a good
He's
position.
the only really good left tackle left. He's the only really good left tackle left. I mean, it only makes sense. People have to. I mean, if it works out and the Buffalo Bills don't take him, I think that's a win for Kansas City if it works out. Because he's basically, they were saying he could be a top 10 pick if he was healthy. And you get him at 31? That's a win. The Chiefs are basically really holding on here. They're trying to stay relevant in a NFL that is quickly ascending into new blood. The Commanders, that's new blood. Denver all of a sudden is, wow, Denver's pretty good. The Raiders are on the come up. You know what I mean? Like Tampa Bay is relevant. Oh, wow, the Rams. Wow, didn't they win the Super Bowl? They're supposed to be bad. Well, guess what? They're still good. Well, Detroit, these are not your household name teams that you would expect to be going deep in the playoffs. I mean, when we think deep in the playoffs, it's Buffalo, Baltimore, Philly, KC. There's all of a sudden 12 teams that got a shot at winning this thing, and the Chiefs are holding on for dear life to stay relevant in a salary cap strapped, NFL where Patrick Mahomes' cap hit's going to be $96 million next year. I mean, I've been watching their old Super Bowls because I'm not sure I'm going to see a new one for a while. You know what I mean? It could be a minute. I mean, this did happen to Tom Brady too. Win a decade. Hard to stay relevant, man, if you can't protect your quarterback. They have the weapons. If Rice, Worthy, Hollywood, they need a running back and they need a tackle. If they could get Travion Henderson, if they could get the two Ohio State products here, Josh Simmons and Henderson, I'd be thrilled. I would be thrilled. I really would. I don't know. The pick is in. Come on, let's go. Who do you think's going here, Danny?
You got to go corner.
Their defense fell apart near the end of the year too,
Yeah, I mean, they do need help. Their defense needs help.
They need help. The defense needs help.
They just re-signed a old head, too. I forgot his name, who they released. They need to get young.
Have to.
They have to, man.
This could be where E-Man Worry comes off, too, though.
Yeah.
Starks is
Don't
gone.
sleep.
E-Man Worry.
Yeah.
That could be right where he comes in.
Yeah, I mean, that one guy they had did die on the field. I mean, I know he came back and played okay. But he's little, dude. And he don't tackle nobody. Buffalo realizes that, I mean, Kansas City Chiefs played the most physical game they played all year when they played the Bills. They thought that the Chiefs were going to come at them finesse, and the Chiefs brought pain, bro. They know that
Maxwell Harris did.
That they took the corner. That's not Harris a bad pick. Someone knows something about. Yeah. Someone knows something about Will.
Have to.
They know something about Will Johnson.
At this point, it's got
he did something. He broke in somewhere, or slept with somebody, or cheated on on tests. Something happened. Something happened because his measurables are there to be the number 2 position ranked cornerback in the NFL and to not be picked. This is where the Eagles take these guys. I don't necessarily know if the Eagles do need them because what's the name of that guy? Their old head corner.
Who, Gardner Johnson?
Not Gardner Johnson. He's a safety. Bradbury and Slay. This is where you replace. This is where you replace Slay. This is where, and they do this every year. A guy who's got some.
You just traded with the Eagles.
Stop it.
Okay, I won't tell you.
They did.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Why?
Eagles are on the clock, bro.
Because all they know, the Eagles don't need an offensive lineman.
Exactly.
Wow.
Eagles on the clock. I don't know what the trade is, but the Eagles are on the clock.
So this is where
Will Johnson.
This is where they're gonna get. They're gonna get Will Johnson. What the Chiefs probably got. They moved up probably a couple spots day 2, which makes sense.
Yeah.
The Eagles do not need line help.
No,
they do not need. Their lines are perfect. So it's a win-win. The Eagles get their they get their corner, and the Chiefs get their O-line. I'm happy with this, and it helps KC tomorrow.
Yep.
Maybe if it works out the way I think. I like Maxwell Harrison to go to Buffalo. That's a good pick for them. Again, drafting for need.
They need a corner. You had to do
corner, bro. This is a good dude. This has been dude. I tell you what, man. I didn't think this was going to be as much fun today as last year. This has been an entertaining draft. This has been good.
It's been good.
It's been good. There's some whiffs. There's whiffs every year.
There's always whiffs, though. You know what I mean?
Whiffs. There's whiffs,
it's usually the usual suspects with the whiffs. And this year,
that's the problem.
The usual suspects did good. The Jets, the Raiders,
Raiders, Cleveland,
Jaguars, Browns,
Cleveland,
Dallas again is just trash.
Dallas is lost.
Dallas is so lost. I actually like trading back. I mean, the Chiefs are used to picking at 32 for the last 3 years. I'm fine with this. They're still going to get Josh Simmons if they take him. If they don't, okay, devil's advocate here. I don't care what the Eagles do here. I really don't.
Yeah, it doesn't
They're probably going to take Will Johnson, though, because that's just what they do. If the Chiefs do not select Josh Simmons, who do they take? I cannot see them taking anyone else.
If they don't, I can see Jahad Campbell coming in.
Linebacker? The linebacker room is deep, though. They just paid their linebackers a ton of money, dude.
Yeah, but Jahad Campbell, he's more of a
he's a hybrid
all over the field. Yeah,
he's a hybrid player.
You can put his hand in the dirt. You can put him in coverage. He has a lot of he's multifaceted use. Jack of all trades.
Their line is so bad though. They just got. Their line is bad. I mean, the right side of the line is good. They got Creed Humphrey. You know what I mean? They locked down Trey Smith, and that bum that always false starts. He'll be gone next year, but he can. He holds it down. He just false starts too much. He's getting paid too much. His cap hits too much. You can't release him now. But you need a left guard and you need a left tackle. You can't take a linebacker there. You just signed Nick Bolton to $1 bazillion. Your Mike linebacker's set.
But Jahad Campbell played a couple of reps at safety. He's done it at hand in the dirt at edge where he started in Alabama. Then he also plays weak side linebacker as well. So that means coverage, dirt. You can't go wrong, really. But like you said, you need offensive line help. And all the rest of the good offensive linemen will not be there by the time you pick again in the second round.
Right.
Who do you think, Danny?
I think you have to go line. You said Mahomes ran for his life in the Super Bowl. He doesn't want to do that again. And let's all be honest.
I can't see them doing anything else.
the Chiefs had a lot of really close wins during the season that could have went either way last year. That coin flip turns around if you don't pick up that line this year.
Yeah.
You had a lot of coin flip games last year. A lot.
I mean, they won 15 games. They could have won 8.
Right.
Let's be honest.
You don't want to go to that 8. You need to protect Mahomes.
I don't know, man. I'm not as I don't know, this year, going into this year, I'm not as excited as you would expect me to be when you have Mahomes and Andy Reid. I've just seen this before, man. I mean, look at Tom Brady. That's the GOAT. The guy went 10 years. The guy lost at home to the Jets in the playoffs. It happens.
True.
You know, I mean, the Jaguars were robbed of a playoff win in Foxborough. I mean, it happens. I just think that this is a year where the Chiefs are probably going to take a step back, man. 10 wins, okay, but I could see them losing in the playoffs. I could, man. I don't know.
To
I could
Danny's
see
point,
one scenario where you get the wrong matchup this year.
Get the wrong matchup, you have to go on the road to Buffalo. This is the year Buffalo finally beats Kansas City. You get the wrong matchup, you have to go on the road to Baltimore.
Go to Denver.
Go to Denver. Chiefs, that's a house of horrors for the Chiefs, man. The Chiefs
Exactly.
never play well in Denver, ever, man. Dude, I as a rule from now on, when the Chiefs go to Denver, I take Denver in the points every time, dude. I'll take a favorite Denver team at home. Mile High Stadium is a house of horrors for Kansas City, bro. And so, and you just watched LA get better, and you definitely watched the Raiders get better. The Raiders are better. Both those teams are better today. And what do the Chiefs struggle at? I mean, they didn't struggle this year, but last year and the year before, stopping the run was a big problem for Kansas City. And they lost Derek Nottie. They lost Turk Wharton. They need DNs bad. They need bodies, bro. You run right at Kansas City right now. This has to be a draft where they hit on 4 out of 7. They're in big trouble. And so I know last year I complained about Worthy, and I was down and it hit for me. So I'm not going to complain about who they pick. You know what I mean? But I really need a 6'7", 360-pound lineman. That's what I need.
Yeah. To Danny's point, 17 one-score games in a row that the Chiefs have won. And if we just take a look back and go, if they would have lost those 17, what do the Chiefs' records look like the last 2 years? You know, now we're getting closer to 11 wins, 12-win seasons, and not 14, 15-win seasons. So, you know, you guys are hoping for Josh Simmons, you know, but I still think that Jahad Campbell comes in.
Oh, man. Come on, Philly. Come on, Philly.
5th round? You only got a 5th round to move up?
That's
it? Exchange.
Well, it's just
31
for 32. I'm not expecting them to get much. Come on.
Roseman's on the phone fleecing somebody, probably. About to get 3 firsts for someone to move up and grab.
Howie Roseman and Brett Veach are 2 of the best to do it. So
they could be on the phone right now, fleecing somebody.
Yeah. Howie Roseman has done an excellent job with this team, man. One of the best to ever do it.
Jahad Campbell.
Oh, wow.
Jahad Campbell. Wow.
That's a good for them.
Wow.
That's a good move for them.
Wow. My goodness, dude. Linebacker from Alabama. Great pick. My goodness, dude. They do this every single year. Wow. God, I'm tired of this, man.
This is Jeff Bezos winning the Powerball.
Every single year, man.
This Jeff Bezos is winning the Powerball is what the Eagles just did right here.
One of the best linebackers in the country.
To that lap.
Wow.
Unreal.
Versatile.
6'3", 235. I mean, he is a stud, bro. This is what they do, man. Duke, don't hate, congratulate, bro. I'm not a hater. I'm tired of watching them do this every year. Sideline to sideline run defender, man. Great combine, plays downhill, fills gaps, competitive. He'll fit
you need
right
him.
in.
You need him to chase Daniels around.
Yep.
Playing him twice a year.
Yep. He tracks the ball well. He's a great athlete. And number one at his position rank in this draft. How does the Philadelphia Eagles, who won the Super Bowl, get a player that is number one at his position rank? How? You can't tell me 30 other teams didn't need a linebacker.
Well, when you have the Dolphins, the Cowboys,
Minnesota,
crazy picks, Minnesota, Dolphins. Like, what are you gonna do?
I mean, I know he had surgery to repair a torn labrum, so people are a little sold on staying away. But this is where you'd get teams like Kansas City and Philadelphia, who are perennial winners, who are willing to take a chance on a player like this at his position, because if it hits, it hits.
Yeah, he's a tight end killer. He's a tight end killer. All those athletic tight ends that are basically wide receivers, that's who the Eagles are going to deploy him on. Jahad Campbell will be covering the Sam Laportas, Mark Andrews, Brock Bowers for the next Travis Kelce's for the next 4 or 5 years with ease. No help, no safety over the top help, one-on-ones. I mean, the Eagles defense are just going to pick your poison. Pick your poison.
Wow, dude. Rich just got richer. At this point, I can only hope that the Commanders really take the step I need them to take and knock them off. Because seriously,
gotta come through,
dude. Literally, the Eagles could go back to back here.
They could
go back to back here, man. They could, man.
They have a ton of talent. Jeez.
Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith, Jahad. I mean, come on, bro. Come on. That is insane. Them and I'm telling you, their defense and the Ravens' defense are going to be sick. They both got better. And how is that even possible? I mean, they were already tough, hard-nosed, fast, hard-hitting, ball tracking. They have acumen, all that. Boy, Chiefs better hit on some of these players, man.
Pick us in.
Sweet Jesus, please just give me some help to protect my quarterback before you ruin him. His family's already a nightmare. Please. I mean, for all things that are holy, give this guy lengthen this guy's career. Please. Come on. Come on. I don't want to talk to this guy no more.
Nah.
That's a great place for Jahad Campbell to go. My God, dude. The Eagles are going to be
fits right in.
Monster. Dude, they're going to be predicted to win 14 games.
Probably.
You can't ban the tush push. You still got Barkley. You still got all – I mean, they just got better.
Smith's getting better, which is wild.
They just got better.
Dallas Goedert is still there. Like, you got Zach Bond as a free agent last year and paid him pennies on the dollar
out of nowhere.
Again,
dude.
Like, just good move after good move. Best player available. And you know what? The Raiders did the same thing the last 2 years. And so I'm hoping that, that's who we're following now. Like, we'll be like the Eagles, best player available. But when you can get someone like that at the 31st pick in the draft, when you get a Jahad Campbell at 31 instead of 19, 24, that is wild to me.
The guy was number one he was the number one linebacker coming into the draft. I mean, it's just wild to me.
Simmons. You got Simmons.
Just give me, got him. Thank you.
You got Simmons.
Thank you, God. All right. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
That's what you wanted.
Dude, Patrick Mahomes cannot continue to run for his life. You've already lost the guy two. The guy has lost 2 Super Bowls because you failed to protect him. We cannot ever see this happen again. I'm sorry. I'm going to pray now to Jesus that he heals whatever is wrong with this guy. I don't care about the medicals. Just God heal him. I'm a firm believer. Heal this kid and put him on the line because Patrick Mahomes deserves better. The guy spit blood for this franchise, and he does not deserve to have a left tackle that can't protect him. I'm sorry. Figure it out, Andy Reid, and this is good. 6'4", 317, small hands, but he's fluid, easy bound, redirect. Only issue I have is the coming off the injury, but I'm telling you, if he was 100%, people had this guy going where Armand Membu went. They had him going over Membu if he would have been 100% healthy, so I will take it. Knees always worry me as offensive tackles, but I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it and pray that he's fine, because this guy, when he's 100%, blows crap up. This has been a good draft. Good draft. I got who I wanted. Looking forward to tomorrow.
Good move.
Day 2. Shedeur Sanders, I believe, is going to go to the Raiders.
You know who Shedeur
needs? Will Johnson is probably going to go to. Boy, there's a lot of talent left still. Will Johnson still available? Mike Green is still available. Iman Uri is still available. Travion.
Shedeur needs the power of grimace.
Hey, what did Pete Carroll went? Pete Carroll went and got his Marshawn Lynch. Now he's about to go get his Earl Thomas.
He's
looking for that Earl Thomas. Evan Warrior's right there for us.
Let me tell you something. I think Vegas is going to have a great draft here. I think I think Vegas and New York are going to have great drafts. This has been a good draft today.
Yeah.
Woo! 3 hours,
for Vegas.
40 minutes, and 24, 25,
you the man,
26,
Dex.
27 with 1 pee break, not taking calls, talking to my wife, or eating any food. World of Matches bringing the heat. I don't want to hear another word out of any of you clowns out there talking about we don't do this right. Shout out
Good
Spencer
stuff.
the Wiz out there about to get married. We thank you for coming on, all our special guests. Dan the Man, Long Island. Rob the Raider. Las Vegas, Nevada. Brian, the biggest Detroit fan this side of Detroit, Michigan. And I am your host, Dexter Reed, once and always bringing you guys the heat. This is the best show on TV every single year, and our favorite show that we love doing. Day 2 is tomorrow. Day 3 is Saturday. I'm going to get with Spencer and see if we can do a wrap-up here of the total draft sometime next week, and we'll bring you guys our risers and fallers from all these teams and their landing spots and give out letter grades. I'm telling you already, I already know that Dallas is probably going to lead with a big fat F, depending on what they do, because they have just – this is the second year in a row that their first-round draft pick has been absolutely horrendous. Minnesota is not too far behind. Neither is Miami.
Miami.
Horrible.
Miami.
You can't tell me that the guy who the Eagles picked couldn't have been better on any of those teams. But what do I know? I'm not a GM. I'm just a guy that lives in Summerlin, Nevada, that works at a restaurant. What do I know? But I did hit on several picks today. To my credit.
Yes, sir.
We'll see you guys. Thanks for sticking in there with us. Thanks for liking, taking comments. And we are out. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
Peace.